2021.
What is the flux? Welcome to the Sunday Movie Marathon. I'm Max.
I'm Chris.
I'm Darcy.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
episode 61 this time, and we're back, baby. How have we all been?
Yeah, it's a lot better than last time we recorded when we were all wearing masks and
Yeah,
it's just a crazy time.
Yeah, it probably won't sound like shit now.
we hope.
Yeah, that episode sounded really rough.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it sounded pretty good this time.
Oh well.
Maybe
what
we
are you
just
gonna
need
do?
better equipment.
Yeah, probably. We're using wouldn't say super cheap, but it's not the
No.
most
They're
high
what,
end.
What, they're like £30, aren't they?
The microphones are.
Yeah, I'll say
Yeah.
that's really cheap for a microphone.
Well, I've changed my microphone this time around. I hope it works well enough.
Cool.
It's pretty old.
I also hope that it doesn't pick up my laptop's ugly noise.
It's fine right now, isn't it? Sounds all right.
That's right, because
Can't
I
hear it
can
at all.
hear it.
All right. I like a tune to it.
Yeah. It's like crispy. I can't explain it.
It's 2022 now, guys.
It is.
What a year. Was it a good year?
What?
2021?
We
Well,
could say
Well, not right now. Like, yeah, was 2022 a good year? Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2021 was kind of the same as 2020 for me, where the highs were super high, but the lows were horribly low.
Yeah. For me, actually, I thought it was a pretty good year. I feel like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was better for me than 2020 was.
Had a really good year.
yeah, this year was actually really good. Well,
Maybe
I
the
say
best
really
year.
good, as good as it can be during a pandemic. I would say.
Better even.
Oh, I
Better
don't
than
know.
regular.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously there were drawbacks, but I had a fun time. I don't really care about anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, loads of people died still, but not me.
Yeah, we had the return.
Oh, sorry.
We had the return of live music, which obviously was great. I really missed
Mhm.
that. Me and Darcy went to the Download Pilot Festival before everything opened up, and that was a really, really great experience.
Mm-hmm.
You could just tell how excited every single person was there to be around live music or even just to be performing, and it just felt magical, and I really loved that. That was one of my highlights of last year.
Apart from
Mhm.
camping,
Yeah, that part sucked.
genuinely,
does.
that was the worst part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the toilets, they were the worst toilets I've ever
Oh,
seen
they were
in my
bad
life.
for you. To be fair, they're not too bad on this side of the pond, but I think it's because a lot of them are gross. But ours are nowhere near as bad, I would say.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
could just smell the wafts though coming from that end of the.
Yeah. I think I've given up with festivals, really. It's too much hassle.
It is a lot of hassle, and I'm ashamed of myself because I said I was never going to camp again, and here we go. Reading 2022.
Even going to a regular gig is hassle for me.
Yeah, I know. We literally went to that gig in October for Don Broker, and you were like, it's just down the road. Oh, it's such a hassle being
We
down
kind
here.
of what, yeah, to be honest. So, yeah, it was
It was
the least
literally
hassle
less than a
there, but,
mile.
also got kicked in the head at that gig, so that wasn't very nice.
That's true. You got cut, my friend.
I got cut, yeah, on the back of my neck. I still have the photo of that.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Well, more great gigs to come
Mm.
this year. We hope.
Yeah, we're meant to be seeing the Wombats this week.
Oh, we are as well, yeah.
As recording this, it would have either have already happened or not happened.
Cancelled, yeah. I'm hopeful for it. I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I feel like if they haven't cancelled it now, unless they're the kind of band that will cancel it on the day, I hope not.
No, I imagine they do it a few
Yeah, I don't
days
know what-
before
yeah, I
if they
don't
were
know
going
why.
to.
I don't know why they wouldn't though, to be honest. I don't feel like nothing's been deemed doomed, so I don't see why they would. Unless one of them gets really ill or something in the next couple of days.
It's always possible.
Yeah.
Actually, that is true. Sadly, we're in that climate at the moment where it literally only takes one person to go down and that's it. Everything's done.
We also had our great experience going to Cornwall
Yeah.
last year.
Went to Cornwall. That was one of the best things we did last year.
Yeah, it's one of the best weekends of my entire life.
It was great. And God, I was worried that it was going to be one of those holidays where it rains the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was really nice weather.
Yeah, to be fair, there's nothing worse than because I've actually been to Cornwall a couple of times, and when it's raining, what can you do?
Nothing.
Yeah, literally, I'll just sit inside and just watch films all day because that's it. It's just a waste of
didn't
time,
it?
Chris did.
isn't
He was
it? Yeah.
like just sitting there watching The Chase.
Yeah, but that's just Chris all over. Like, it doesn't matter where you are,
Yeah,
he's
I'm
going to put it on.
pretty sure didn't it start raining like on the last night when we got back and we were just like inside watching Dave Chappelle.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. The beaches are different there too,
Yeah.
from like Portsmouth at least.
Yeah, they're a
we were
lot
at.
nicer.
Yeah, the sea's like
Yeah,
actually, like,
the sea's actually blue.
clear and
Yeah.
blue.
They had a bar on the beach.
They did, yeah. Very nice. It was like being
Cool.
on like a tropical holiday.
Yeah.
That's it though.
that
Nothing
was
else.
everything that happened.
Nothing else that year. It was just that, and that was like at the beginning of the year or something. It was more towards the middle. I think it was like
Yeah, it's like in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that I don't know. I kind of felt like the world was on the brink of chaos all the time, so I kind of
Yeah.
thought that if anything was going to happen, that was probably why nothing happened. You know, like it was like at New Year's where no one planned anything because everyone thought we were going to go into a lockdown, so everyone was just like, "Oh, what do we do?"
Yeah, we were like
And, everyone
scrambling
was
right
just
at the last
scrambling,
minute.
yeah.
Literally on the day was when we made plans. I think. But it turned out all right. It was a good New Year.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice. It was nice.
I was going to go to like a pub, but like, absolutely not. There's no way.
There was no way I was going to go to the pub. I didn't even really want to go out in the first place, to be honest.
Yeah, I was invited to a couple house parties and said no.
It's a bit much, bit too much. But we
Yeah.
only had like, what, 5 people where we were? 5
Yeah.
or 6?
Yeah.
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 That was all right.
Yeah, I
Played
liked
some
it.
drinking games.
Yeah, I kind of prefer like the intimate settings, if that makes sense. I feel like when there's too many
Mhm.
people, I just kind of go, ugh, I've had enough of this already.
Yeah. It was the day after that everyone hates, isn't it?
What,
The
New Year's
first.
Day?
Yeah. Because everyone's hungover.
I was
I
actually,
wasn't-
I
I
was
wasn't that
actually
bad.
fine.
Yeah. I had
I
a bit of a
thought-
headache.
Yeah, I
But
thought
that's
Chris
not-
was going to die.
Yeah,
To be
I was
fair.
dying. But that was because I was like hungover and feeling the effects of my booster as well.
Yeah.
So I just felt absolutely awful.
Went to work like an hour and a half late.
Yeah. I've heard that apparently you're not supposed to drink for a few days after getting your booster because like it completely depletes your blood sugar and you can get really ill.
Oh,
And that's what happened to me, which I found out the hard way.
Oh,
thank God. Because I've got my booster in like a couple of days, but I've strategically placed it the morning after I'm going out drinking.
Yeah.
do the
that's
old
clever,
switcheroo.
yeah. The switcheroo.
Drink before and not after. Although, I feel like that might have a few negative effects. but
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
feel like,
I'll
yeah,
update.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I was just quite lucky that I managed to, one of mine got cancelled and then I had to rebook it, so I got mine a couple of days earlier than I was meant to. Nothing really happened to me except I woke up the next day and my whole body was just, it felt like someone had punched my whole body. And then I was all right the next day, so it was all good.
Talk about some films.
No.
Okay. That's been episode 61 of the Sunday. See you next week. That's what we're doing. We're doing a year in review of all the shit that came out last
Cool.
year. TV, film, books? No, just TV. And
None of
film.
us read.
I couldn't even tell
I
you
read
a
a lot of
single
books. I
book.
read like the most books I've ever read in a year last
To be
year.
fair, I did read a few books, but none of them from 2021.
Yeah.
I had one book from 2021 and I've read 5 pages of it.
Nice.
Yeah, doing well. I'm doing good. Why haven't I read it? I don't know. I just don't have the attention span for it.
Yeah, it's difficult to read. I feel like every year I get a bit stupider.
Same. I actually feel like,
I forget how to read. What?
see, I just read the same thing over and over again in hopes that I can like absorb it, but it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I do that same thing. It happens with books that are like boring though.
Yeah.
With books that are like really
Oh, maybe I
good.
just find books really boring.
Yeah, find something you like maybe.
Even the ones that I like, though, I can't really finish. Like, I'm about 3/4 of the way through my Bimini Bon Boulash book, and I love that book, but I just can't get back into it. It's like once I stop reading, that's it. I can't go back in.
Yeah, I have like a couple of days where like I read like a whole book and then like I go months without reading at all.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Actually, I just remembered I actually did start reading a book from 2021. I started reading Tarantino's book version of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
And I got about halfway through and just couldn't carry on. I was just
Great.
getting really lost about where it was.
Wasn't
like,
it
just
going back and
structurally.
forth quite a lot?
Yeah, because like it was going super like back and forth and all over the place timeline wise. It was like really loose and non-linear, and I was getting really confused as to what was happening.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how I felt about reading Antkind, that Charlie Kaufman book, which I also gave up on.
hmm
That doesn't surprise me
Yeah. Right. A lot of books to give up on. I often do that. If you're not enjoying a book, there's no point in carrying on though.
Mm.
Yeah. But now I'm reading James A. Caster's Perfect Sounds Whatever book, and I'm really enjoying that so far.
Yeah, I've got that up on the shelf there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read his classic Scrapes as well, and that was really good.
Yeah, I have to check that out after finishing this one.
So there were movies that came out and we got to go to the cinema again. What a blessing. Though I went to the cinema quite a lot in 2020. It was a bit staggered.
Yeah.
I think I went like 30 something times this year.
Yeah.
Like for fuck's sake.
I feel like this year I went to the cinema more times than I've ever been in my whole life. And I genuinely mean that because the cinemas back home are so expensive.
Yeah.
Like
Where
my
they
mum,
get it off.
my mum finds it mad that I go to the cinema as much as I do, and I'm like, Mum, here they're £5. She was like, what? Because they're like 15 down there.
Mhm. You were at the cinema yesterday, Chris, and like apparently it's like a different place and like
Oh yeah,
it's double the price, but the screens are worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
What? How much is a ticket over there? Like normally,
$9.99, but I get like discount vouchers through work, which is like brings it down to like £7.
oof.
Yeah. Even so.
Think about it. You could watch the same film for like £2 or £3 less.
Yeah, and
That's
I
what
will
you
see
feel.
it again when it comes out. But
Yeah.
that's a 2022 film technically, so
Oh yeah, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
You're mugging yourself off.
We went and saw a movie yesterday. I
Mhm.
think
We
Darcy
did.
and me, and I have a lot of cinema vouchers. We just get them for free.
Yeah, I didn't know they worked on VIP chairs because
VIP, we live in the lap
yeah,
of luxury
I
there.
thought they didn't. I thought they didn't. So when she was like, "Oh, they work on VIP," I was like, "Oh my god, why wouldn't you?
Mm.
Just why wouldn't you?"
Why did they even give you the option?
Yeah.
Not standard or VIP.
You're like,
Yeah.
"Come on."
yeah, I have some vouchers at home that me and Darcy used when we saw Titan, but those you can only use on standard. You have to pay.
Yeah, that's why I
extra
was.
if you
Yeah,
wanna
that's why I was
use
so
VIP.
confused. I was like, "What? Oh,
Annoying.
okay."
Ours came with VIP tickets
Yeah.
and was it half off popcorn?
Yes.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
those
that
as
one
well.
does as well. To be fair.
Which I mean, we didn't really eat. Like half of it was left at the end.
Yeah, and
Just,
then
like, left on the floor.
like an animal.
Yeah, that wasn't us. Wasn't our fault.
Yeah,
We would
that is
never do
true.
that. I never.
We did.
anything in the cinema.
He's looking at me like, I can't even eat popcorn at the moment, so I didn't even get to enjoy any of it. So sad little life I lead.
How are we going to do this then?
Worst and best.
Worst and
Start
best.
and worst, I
Start
think.
with worst.
Should we start with worst? Okay.
Sure.
Do we want to go back and forth and do like our top 5? What we're
Yeah,
gonna
we'll do
do?
top 5. Sure.
Okay.
Take it away, Chris.
Yeah, so there was plenty of really bad movies from last year to pick from. Like, I was surprised at how many bad movies we ended up watching. My number 5th worst film was one that we watched and reviewed on the podcast. That's Chaos Walking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just a really ridiculous movie in every single way.
It was really bad.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to get back into it too much because obviously we've already reviewed it, but I just felt like nothing was explained properly. I feel like if you read the book, it's going to annoy you, and if you haven't read the book, you're going to be more confused.
It's a movie for no one.
Yeah. I don't really remember it at all, to
No.
be honest.
It's not going to get a sequel like it wanted. It's like it's just a mess.
Yeah, it was a
Structurally.
huge flop.
I'm more
the
angry
acting is
that
pretty bad.
it's in my eye view as well, and it's upsetting.
Oh, got the old Blu-ray right
Yeah,
there.
I bet you regret that now, don't you?
No, I really wanted to see it. I
Will
was
you
always
watch it
going to
again?
see it. No. Well, maybe someday, but not
Not right now.
Not right now.
No.
maybe in a couple of years. Yeah, I didn't like it. I was very disappointed, even though I knew it was going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't really think it's very interesting or memorable. I don't really remember much about the film at all, just like
Mhm.
fragments of it.
Yeah,
No.
it's like an honourable mention for me. Like, just the 6th in
Oof.
my worst.
Yeah, for me, the 5th was like really hard to pick between that and Old, but
Mhm.
like Old was just so much fun. that I couldn't put that on there.
Yeah, Old only just about missed my list because it was so funny for all the wrong reasons that I thought, this doesn't deserve to be on the worst list.
Yeah, Old was like genuinely one of the most entertaining film experiences I had this year in the cinema.
And that's what I
just
can
because
ask
of
for.
how bad it was.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I'll do my number 5, but first I want to do a couple of honourable mentions.
Okay.
I'm just going to scan through here. There was a movie called Don't Look Up that came out on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh yeah, did you watch it? Oh yeah, you must have.
Yeah, I watched it, and you know, I didn't think it was terrible, but I thought it was very stupid. I think it's getting a lot of praise, but it's also like I think people are pulled in different directions with that movie. It's very star-studded, but like it's also very surface level in what it tries to communicate. It's like, oh, the rich are bad, aren't they? Okay, great. Leonardo DiCaprio's there, and just a bunch of other famous people, Jonah Hill, and like Jennifer Lawrence, and they didn't really get to do anything. They just sort of go, well, the world's going to end actually, so you should listen to us, and then nobody does. And then there's Adam McKay who directed that. He's like, oh, isn't this cool, guys? It's like, no, it's not. That is the worst editing I've seen in a film this year.
Yeah, I really, really hate his editing style. As soon as you were like, I hate the editing in this movie, I instantly knew how it was going to be, because like his editing in The Big Short and Vice is like very, very obnoxious. And I really don't like those movies.
It's very choppy. There are a lot of like unnecessary close-ups of characters' faces. I don't know. It really didn't gel with me. I watched it with my family on like Boxing Day or Christmas.
Oh yeah, I've just been on Letterboxd and seen that like everyone in the world has seen it at this point, and everyone says the same thing. They made their point in the first 20 minutes. Why is this film like 3 hours long? And I'm like, okay,
yeah, it's too
fair
long.
enough.
It's like over 2 hours long. It's like 2:15.
Oof,
it didn't need to be that long.
Yeah, the plot from what I've heard just sounds like Lars von Trier's Melancholia, except like comedic. And I wasn't really a big fan of that movie. It just made me really miserable.
Yeah, and it wasn't really even comedic. It was trying to be. I think it was trying to be a comedy, but I didn't laugh once.
Yeah, I'm not even quite sure what it's about. It sounds very Chicken Little-y to me, but I'm not sure what it's meant to be about.
It's basically the live-action Chicken Little. Shit, yeah, we've talked about that too long.
Maybe Adam McKay should just stick to Will Ferrell comedies like Anchorman and Step Brothers.
Hey, Step Brothers is a film for no ages.
Reel off a couple others that pissed me off. Luca kind of sucked, and I forgot about that movie as soon as I watched it. And we reviewed it on the podcast, so I don't need to talk too much about
I almost put that on my list.
Yeah. But it's like, it just goes down in my estimations each time I think about it, because it's like, yeah, it's very pretty, but like, oh, fucking hell, is it boring. Shang-Chi, even worse when I think about it. I know I went into pretty rough detail on it when we talked about it on the podcast, so I won't.
I'm surprised that's not on your list, to be honest.
It's not.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's like basically everything that I hate about a Marvel movie, and like even worse. I think it does some things pretty well, but like not enough, I'm afraid. And they didn't need to nerf the bad guy, I thought, because he was like the one good thing there. And I guess Venom sucked, but that was pretty funny. I quite liked it. Yeah,
do you know what? I took that out of my bad list right at the last second when I thought of another movie to put in. I've only got one on my dishonourable mentions.
Yeah.
It's just Spiral. Just don't know why it's there. Why does it exist?
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I just think that it could have been not made ever.
Yeah.
Like
it wasn't great.
Like
all these movies would be dishonourable mentions except for Venom, which we'll get to in a bit.
Yeah, like, I don't know. The more I think about Spiral, the more I just don't understand because apparently they were gonna make like a Jigsaw like an origin film, even though basically all of the Saw films just explain his origin anyway. But like they were gonna do like an origin film with like Tobin Bell, and it was gonna be sick. And then they were like, Chris Rock came up to us at a party once and said he wanted to be in a film, so he made it. And I was like, what a waste. What a bloody waste. So I thought that was worth it.
Who cares?
I'm angry. I love the Saw franchise. It's like amazingly awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this new one just didn't really capture that so bad. It's good energy that the originals had.
But it did make my list because it wasn't as bad as half the stuff I've seen this year.
Yeah. My number 5 pick for the worst is Old.
Oh,
It is
old.
Fucking hated it. And yeah, it was pretty funny.
It was
But like,
great.
I also found it very dull and boring and like excruciatingly painful. Like the way it's shot is disgusting. It's the editing is terrible. Pretty much everything I despise about a movie is in there. But like, it's also very funny. I don't think the acting is very good, even though there are very good actors in it. And I think M. Night kind of got away from himself when he made it. I think nobody told him no.
Yeah, but
That's the problem with a lot of his movies.
That's what I was
though.
just thinking. He is literally that guy that makes the film. No one tells him he's gone too far, and then he's like, "Oh, this is amazing. This is great cinema," and everyone's like, "This is bad, M. Night. You should make something else." Because he's very hit or miss.
Mostly
he?
miss.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but the few hits he has are like really good, aren't they?
Yeah, he's got some really good
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Yeah, I
I
feel
like Sixth Sense a lot. Unbreakable's
Sixth Sense is
good.
great.
Signs.
Oh yeah, I saw Unbreakable not that long ago.
I like
Split's
Split.
all right.
I like Split.
I've only seen Glass. Well, actually, no, I've seen Unbreakable now. I haven't seen Split though.
Last
Yeah, it's
Airbender
alright.
is a good movie. Just to laugh at it, you know. You want to do your number 5, Darcy?
Oh, I'm going to swap number 4 and number 5 around because when I was looking at my list, I realised that one is significantly worse than the other. So my 5th is Cruella.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we've already... Did we talk about it properly? Yeah, we did, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we did.
Yeah, it was boring. And do you know what? I know my sister and my mate Hannah are going to come for me because they were like, oh, that film was actually really good. No, guys, it was not.
You kind of sat there with your head in your hands after we watched it.
Oh yeah, there's an iconic photo of me just
It
crying.
looks like you're sobbing.
And there's a picture of Cruella behind me, and it's just, oh, I hated it.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And I found out, I think Chris showed me it, that the dogs, I mean, we knew the dogs were CGI, but the dogs are CGI, and it is really, really painful to know
Mhm.
that they couldn't even have dogs to make that set better.
It's got like a lump of
It was like
Like
styrofoam,
clay.
wasn't it? Ugh.
in their hands. Yeah.
It's cheaper, easier, and quicker to do,
Yeah.
which is like ridiculous. That's the way things have come. It's like cheaper and quicker to have a fake dog than a real
It's
one.
a film about dogs.
Yeah, but
Are you joking? Well,
the-
actually, what-
animal handlers in that industry have unions.
yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
But
Have
VFX
rights.
artists do not. So that's probably why they did it.
Yeah, because Disney refused to use unions because they want to fuck everyone over and pay them less than they.
They have more money
Require.
than. Do you know what? I'm not.
Horrible fucking
All I'm going to
company.
say is that it sucked, and that's it because we've already spoken about it.
Number 4.
Yeah, my number 4 pick is from our boy Zack Snyder himself. Is Army of the Dead, that Netflix zombie movie he made.
Yeah,
The film was so bad. Like some of it's like kind of fun where he's not taking himself seriously at all, and he's kind of self-aware and just making some like silly zombie like heist movie. But too much of the movie, I think, takes itself way too seriously and it's just really dull and uninteresting. Or like too much of the movie like thinks it's like super cool and awesome, like everything it's doing, and it just isn't. It's just really dull and lackluster, and I just didn't enjoy it in the slightest.
yeah. I can't
It's also like
remember.
2.5 hours, which it doesn't need to be anywhere near that long.
Like some of it had me. Like I really like that one guy who's meant to be getting a spin-off, but could I remember his
Oh,
name?
yeah, that Army
No.
of Thieves movie they're doing.
Yeah, he was cool, and then the rest of it I don't really remember. Like I'm actually struggling to. I mean, all right, granted, guys, I struggle to remember most things, but this is actually like not even like in my like peripheral memory. Like I can't think of anything that this film did apart from bore me, I suppose. I just remember it being too long.
Yeah. Zack Snyder sucks.
Yeah.
I've not seen any of his other films, and I don't think I want to.
He sucks.
Yeah, I don't think you need to. honestly.
No.
His Dawn of the Dead remake is like surprisingly decent, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
I've only seen like the DC ones, to be honest. No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all I know is that he did that Justice League thing, and that was like 4 hours long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But everybody watched it.
I've not watched it,
Yeah.
and I never will.
Yeah, don't
Ha ha ha.
My number 4 for the worst is one we talked about on the podcast, or I talked about it a bit. It was The Conjuring 3. The
Yeah.
Devil Made Me Do It.
I keep forgetting that film exists.
Yeah, it sucks.
Same. I remember you guys were like, let's go see it. And we were like, no.
No, there's no point. I think they're done with that series. It was never like... The first Conjuring's pretty good. I don't remember the second one. Maybe that was alright, actually.
Yeah, second
might have been
one's
pretty
I
fine.
don't remember the second one.
But
That's like some really good moments, that second one, but
yeah. Well, it was directed by James Wan, you know?
yeah.
And then he didn't direct any of the others.
Okay, that could
Alright,
make...
there's no point. And you got
some
like all these
sense.
offshoots with like The Nun and Annabelle, and I don't think they're very good.
The Nun
I
is...
don't think they've
terrible.
been received very well. I've not seen any of them.
Yeah,
Although-
The Nun is awful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Annabelle's slightly better.
I saw Annabelle Creation. That was done by David F. Sandberg, I think.
Yeah, I've heard that one's alright.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Why not? That's that. Devil Made Me Do It. Sucked. They just need to stop making these movies. It was too dark. You couldn't see anything. Everyone was scared shitless in the cinema, but it's like, I almost fell asleep multiple times. It was too
You say
long.
scared shitless, was it just people like jumping?
Whoa! Too many jump scares.
Yeah,
Not
that's
enough
what you get from these
actual
kind of
fear.
movies.
Yeah.
That's the problem, though. Yeah, it's cheap and effective to do a jump
Yeah.
scare
Yeah.
because that incites the fear, but it's not real fear, is
That's
it? It's just
one of the things
surprise.
I love about James Wan, though. He is very, very reliant on jump scares, but the jump scares always like show something horrifying at the same time. That's why
Yeah, it's not just
I
there for the
really
hell of it,
love
is
the
it?
first Insidious and Conjuring movies, because like what
Yeah.
he's showing is actually like genuinely quite terrifying, or at least creepy.
Yeah. And he had that movie out this year. What was it? Malignant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It was
also
good.
on
It was
my
good fun.
that was also on my honourable mentions because it was pretty goofy.
Yeah. Sure.
To be honest, my fourth is exactly the same as Chris's because I've now swapped 4 and 3 around because every time I think about this third film, it makes me angry.
Yeah. So what? The Army of the Dead
yes,
one?
Army of the Dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks. It's just
Yeah.
boring. That's it.
3.
3.
Yeah. My third one, Darcy's already brought up. That's Cruella.
Yeah. Sucked.
Really bad movie.
My third is Zack Snyder's Justice League. It was too
That would
long.
be a dishonourable mention for me.
It was fucking horrendous.
What was so bad about it though?
Just-
Like,
it's
boring.
like
yeah,
exactly the same as Justice League, but like done a little bit better. But like it's twice the length,
Yeah.
therefore making it worse.
It's more serious and darker. They've taken out like all the humour that they forced into the original movie, which is good
Appreciate
because
that.
like that was like the
Yeah.
worst part of that original movie for me.
Yeah,
But
it's not without
yeah.
its.
it doesn't like fix the story or anything. It doesn't fix a lot of the huge problems. If anything, it adds a lot of problems in there.
Yeah, everybody saw it and everybody thought it was the best thing ever, but they're all wrong.
yeah. I've seen like almost nothing but praise, and everyone who didn't like it basically just said that it was too long and up itself. Essentially,
Yeah,
It was a bit up itself. Yeah,
and that's just Zack Snyder.
it's a
for you
bit
there.
self-indulged.
bit of shame.
But we
He
talked
filmed
a lot
of
about
it in his garden as well.
No way.
Yeah, you kind of tell. He's doing like that Rodriguez type thing, where he just gets people around his house and you're like, let's just shoot a movie.
Yeah, because obviously they filmed like they had a lot of footage that wasn't finished, so they just like when Warner Brothers gave him this budget to finish his own director's cut, he filmed some new scenes in his garden with like
Yeah.
green screens and stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
imagine
dear.
having a garden big enough to film a blockbuster movie. Fair play.
Of course he does.
I'm not saying that you should be able to do it, but fair play.
Yep.
All right. Well, my third is one that we haven't spoken about and one that neither of you have seen. And I hate it with all of my being. It's Free Guy.
Oh, God. Oh,
Yeah, when Darcy brought it up earlier, I was like, oh shit, I forgot you watched
yeah.
that.
I forgot I watched it. So what happened was, I think it was just like one Sunday when I was just sitting at home and I was really bored. And I remember I saw that your dad had watched it like the same day.
Yeah.
And I walked in and I was like, oh, that's that guy from Stranger Things and what's her name from that other thing. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll just go and watch it. And it was bad. It was not funny.
Yeah.
It was cringy. The thing is, I like the premise of it because I feel like it had something. Like it was like, oh, you become this non-playable character. Like this thing, it has its own universe. Like it's kind of cool. But the way it's been done is so cringy and so embarrassing, and it just fell flat. It was really, really. It was a slug to get through. Basically, it's not even that long, but it felt like it was 4 times its length. towards the end, I was like, thank God,
I felt
this is
like
over.
the plot was pretty lame to begin with.
Oh, I
to be
thought
honest.
it
That's why
was
didn't
pretty
bother.
cool, but I just didn't like how they did it at all.
It kind of reminded me of like Spy Kids or something.
Yeah,
Spy Kids
I think
was
it would have
infinitely
worked better as that sort of film, like a kids movie, rather than a trying to be like a teen sort of.
Yeah, it felt very.
thing.
It was weird because it felt as serious as it was as stupid, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know whether they were going to try and make Free Guy like a thing, if that makes sense. Like, like make like a couple of spin-offs or whatever, but I just didn't really. I think they are making a spin-off, actually.
Probably.
Pretty sure they are.
If there's one thing I'll say about like Free Guy, even though I haven't seen it, at least I know to avoid it because Ryan Reynolds is in it. Like, that's like, I don't think Ryan Reynolds is in very good movies, to be honest. He does Deadpool decently, but like,
But
that's about it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the.
it's like his character.
That's the
and then the rest
shtick,
of the
though,
time he
innit?
just plays Deadpool in other movies and it doesn't work. But like, at least I know, like, if Ryan Reynolds is in a movie, I don't have to watch it because it's
Yeah.
not going to be good.
Like,
Yeah.
I think my biggest gripe about the whole movie was like how it's gonna sound really weird because I know it's meant to look like a video game, but it looked really cheap. Like, for a blockbuster film, I was like, what the hell is this? And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I don't know anything about CGI or anything, but it didn't look good. It just wasn't. I don't think it was the look they were going for, or maybe it was and it just looked really bad. But yeah, my biggest gripe is that it just looked cheap.
Yeah. Oh well. Maybe Free Guy 2 will redeem it.
I will not be watching it, at least.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2.
My number 2 is Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, how dare you!
I really, really hated that movie. I don't like the first one in the slightest. This movie was definitely, I think, better, but I still just didn't enjoy it. There's definitely moments that I found funny, like ironically, and that kept it from being like a really horrible slog to get through like the first one was. But I still just wasn't into it at all.
Yeah, this came off of my worst list because I have seen worse films, but this film was not good by any means. You know what I mean? Like, when a film is bad, but it just wasn't bad enough.
I still stand by my slight enjoyment of it because it was basically a rom-com.
Oh, it was the funniest thing I've
But
ever
I'll
seen.
never watch it again.
No, I don't think I would. I feel like you watch it once, you get what you get out of it, and then that's it. You never have to watch it ever again. And I'm happy with never watching it again.
I also still don't know why the rapper Little Sims is in it. That was just really weird.
Oh, I think people are just trying. I don't know. Like, I've seen that in a lot of films this year where they just sort of like try and add in people of the time, and then it becomes dated really quickly as well.
She needs to make a bit of money.
Yeah,
Gigs aren't doing too well.
I don't know.
That's fine. I don't
But
know.
like, is she really? Like, I know
She's not integral
she's
to the
pretty big in
right.
the UK, but I don't know if she has like a huge like American following. So I feel like a lot of people just see her and be like, "Who fucks that?"
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know.
Maybe
like,
Tom Hardy got her in.
This
Or Andy Serkis.
I don't know. This film's just kind of weird though, isn't it? Because I feel it's one of those films that didn't have to be made because it basically just ends the same way that the first one ends. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it was very
like,
inconsequential.
Yeah, like there was nothing added, nothing was given to me apart from the fact that
He went to the multiverse,
Venom is
though.
definitely gay. Oh, and he's gone to the multiverse. That's it.
In
Venom's
the
gay,
after credits
confirmed.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
But like, even
well.
that, like, he had Spider-Man, so
Yeah.
Yeah, it just who cares? It was funny, but who cares?
Film sucked.
Yeah, and we're going to get the Andrew Garfield, Tom Hardy, Venom crossover.
Yeah, which I'd actually watch.
Yeah, of course I'd watch it.
I don't care. Again,
I'll watch the next Venom movie, even though they all suck.
Yeah, I think this is the thing.
To be fair, I probably will end up doing that also, even though I really hate these movies.
Well, yeah, let's be honest. I've only seen the first Venom once.
Yeah, I've
because
only
that's
seen
it. I
these
don't need
once.
to watch them again.
Watch them like both release day, and that was it. I'll never watch them again.
Oh, release day.
We really do it to ourselves, don't we?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, we decide to go and see them.
It's like we will still go and see them.
Yeah. Just wait till you get to my number one.
We're all hypocrites. Okay,
So
my number
true.
2 is one that I briefly talked about on the podcast, but not really that much because I don't think there's much to talk about with it. Is F9, the Fast and Furious 9th movie.
Yeah.
It sucked. I went with Connor and I saw it and it was pretty funny, but like not in the way that they wanted it to be. And Yeah, I barely remember it now. Remember there was one scene where like a guy gets crushed by a car and then he just walks out from behind it and he's like, I'm fine. And I burst out laughing and nobody else did.
Do you know? Yeah, because it's so ridiculous that it could only happen in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Reminds me of that scene in The Invisible Kid where the car drives into a pig and suddenly the pig's inside the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so stupid.
What a comparison.
Yeah.
Reminds me of The Invisible Kid.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got to that, but okay.
I have like really fond memories of it because it's a great movie.
It is great, yeah, honestly.
Okay, my God.
Also because I've seen it twice now, I just remember it like really vividly.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a good thing. I think that my second pick is Chris's first pick, but my second pick is Space Jam.
New Legacy.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh no, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, me and Chris torrented this movie. Proudly so, because I would not...
Thanks a lot, we're going to get arrested now.
Whatever. I would not have paid any money towards this movie whatsoever. It's just so boring. Oh, actually, I did like that bit with the pig rapping, but... That was it. It sucked. That's it. I have nothing else to say. It was
Yeah,
so
Space
shit.
Jam is my worst movie of the year. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's just like, just its existence is so pointless. It's literally just Ready Player One, but with only Warner Brothers like properties, which I'm pretty sure Ready Player One was anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it was.
Yeah. It's just like a baby movie, and like no one's gonna know these references. Like, wasn't there like a scene where they go in Casablanca, like
Yeah,
and Austin Powers?
And what made it even like, I don't know what relation this has to like Warner Brothers and things, because I don't know like licensings and things very well. But there was a bit where Rick and Morty showed up for no reason.
That's owned by Warner Brothers.
Okay, they're
also.
owned by. Okay, that makes sense. But like, I feel like that's going to go, for most little kids, that's going to go straight over their head. They're going to be like, who the hell are they?
Yeah, like all the references are going to go over their heads. They're all for like the adults there who have to watch this.
I think they did.
movie
Yeah,
with
I
their
think
kids.
they shoehorned it in because they were like, "Oh, remember Bugs Bunny and all them other
all
people
for, like,
that
the
your kids
people
don't
who
know."
are seeing it because they're nostalgic for the first movie.
Yeah,
But like, even if you're a fan of the first movie, there's nothing here for you. I don't think.
Well, that's why I didn't see it, because I hate that first movie.
I hate the first movie as well, but like, I loved it as a kid, so I do have like a level of nostalgia for it.
I haven't
But there
seen
was like
it.
nothing in this movie that really appealed to me, except for the Big Chungus cameo. That was great.
Like, it didn't ruin anything for me because I haven't seen the first one. But I know that a lot of people who have seen it, who have seen the first one and liked the first one as a kid, have been pretty disappointed by
I
what
don't
they
think
were offered.
anyone liked it.
No,
It
it
just
wasn't.
seems to be like one of those films that just everyone was just massively against.
Yeah, I felt like it was just a bit. Yeah, it was just a bit cash grabby. But I don't think it did very well anyway. So
It did do
Good.
well.
it did.
Well,
It did do well.
Oh, of course. I hope they don't make a third one. That'd be
I
I'm
doubt
glad everyone
it.
hated it though, but I
See,
don't know.
yeah.
It doesn't really matter if everyone hates it.
Yeah,
It
as
only
long as it
matters
makes
if
the money, innit?
it made a bunch of money, which it did.
Yeah. It's a shame, really. But
Yeah, my number one is Cruella.
God, what a movie!
Fucking hated that.
What
movie.
a movie!
It was awful. It is everything I hate about Disney in one movie. It was boring. It was
Mhm.
too long.
Mm-hmm.
The acting sucked. It's like it's a story that didn't need to be told, and it rewrites a character to make her sympathetic, even though she's a villain in that like 101 Dalmatians movie.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need to be written as like a sympathetic character. Sometimes you should just leave these things alone.
Yeah, and I hate that.
Who was begging for a Cruella movie? It's
Yeah,
like,
and
oh,
I
I'm
hate
really
that-
into fashion now. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly. And I hate that they made it a thing because they're making a second one. Why? Why have you made
Are
this a
they?
thing? Yeah.
Yeah, they confirmed that straight away.
Yeah, why have they made that a thing? I mean, I understand why they've made that a thing. But yeah, I agree. Who was gagging online or making petitions for the Cruella movie? Because I don't know a single person who cared. But everyone that I know who's seen it
Everyone
loved
cared.
it. So,
It
why?
was a big hit. People loved it.
Yeah, but why? I
if
mean,
it wasn't made by Disney and it wasn't Cruella and it was just like someone,
yeah,
it would have flopped.
I reckon
It
so.
wouldn't have been
Of
anything.
course.
Do you know what annoys me the most, though? Whenever I ask anyone why they like it, they don't really give me a good answer. All they say,
don't know.
no, because all they say to me is, "Oh, the outfits are nice," and I was like, "Yes, the outfits are gorgeous, but that doesn't make a movie. A movie it doth not make."
Well,
do you know what I mean?
It doesn't. They don't care about that though.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like, it was Disney, and
But
it was
like,
Cruella, and I knew
yeah.
Cruella.
I just feel like
So I
that's
liked
not.
it.
It's not a good enough reason. Like I like the. I mean, I did like Spider-Man, but I'm just gonna use that as an example. Like I like the costumes in Spider-Man. Doesn't mean Spider-Man's a good film. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand how that's a good enough like takeaway from that. Oh yeah, it was really fun. Was it fun? I didn't have fun. I mean,
No.
I appreciate that
It
you
was
had
a
fun.
slog.
Like the thing is, I appreciate people that can like things that I don't like because I'm like, oh, good on you. But also, give me at least a decent reason for why you thought it was so good that you had to defend it.
They're very vehement with the defense. Like the Disney crowd,
Yeah.
they love them so much, which is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
I just
like,
don't get it.
this is the thing. I've never understood. Like even in like music and things, like there are always bands that you love, and there's that one song that you'll skip because it's not as good as the others. Why can't people just be honest and be like, Disney have made some films that you don't need to watch. You can still love Disney and not love every film that they make.
There are
Where's the
plenty
fun
of
in
those
that?
movies that I'm sure, like especially older movies that people don't watch.
That's-
Like I'm sure that there's like very few people who loved Cruella and like 101 Dalmatians who
Mhm.
are like huge Black Cauldron fans.
Yeah, it's a bit more niche.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Black Cauldron, but
I found that kind of boring. I think.
Yeah, it's boring.
but then maybe I'm just one of those people that like, maybe I just don't appreciate Disney as much as them, which is kind of true because I'm more of a Studio Ghibli kind of person. I'm
Yeah.
a Japanese Disney. But yeah,
I get the feeling that they're not as corrupt.
I don't.
Probably not.
I don't know. Maybe,
But we
maybe
don't
not.
know, do we?
Who knows? Should I go on to my
Yeah.
worst
Yeah,
pick?
the first, no, number one worst.
Another film that you two haven't seen, and to be honest, it's probably for good reason. I'm picking Cinderella.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. What a slog. Right, so the first...
I remember you watching that and like,
yeah, I was
having to
sending
feed back
clips
to us.
over. I was sending clips over every like 20 minutes. I don't know where to begin with this because it is... I mean, I've heard that there are other like Cinderella films that have been made that like are pretty bad as well, because obviously it's one of those stories that's been around for so long that there are so many adaptations. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. This is the worst one I've ever seen, I must say. It was just so dated and cringy, and the songs were bad, and then the songs that they were singing that were songs from like like recent songs, but
yeah,
then they
isn't it like a jukebox musical? So all the songs are like pre-existing like, pop songs.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, it was just so awful, and the CGI looks so bad, and James Corden's in it, so it's even worse. Oh, it was
The only
horrible.
thing I've seen from this movie is that scene that became like a meme where James Corden gets turned into like a fairy, but only his body's a fairy, so he's got like this giant head and this tiny body.
Yeah, it was...
He starts like screaming. It's like this really horrifying scene.
Oh, it was so
Hilarious.
bad. Although there were some parts of it that were really genuinely quite funny, but I think they were genuinely funny to me, but they weren't meant to be funny. Like, there was a bit that I sent you guys where like the mice were doing like some sort of like weird harmony, and it was just so awful and so funny, and this film's terrible. I wish I could go back in time and never watch it. I got about an hour in and I just started like skipping through because I just couldn't be bothered. Oh, it was terrible. Awful.
Should we talk about some good movies then?
I'd
Yeah,
rather,
sure.
please.
Why not? We're doing a top 5.
Yeah, we doing honourable mentions as well.
Yeah.
I haven't got any for this
got a bunch
segment.
of honourable mentions.
Yeah, I mean, I've got like a list of 29 movies I liked this year,
Yeah,
but I won't talk
quite a
about them
few.
all.
No.
Yeah, I'll just pick a few random ones that wouldn't make the top 5. One of them's a movie that me and Darcy watched called Shiva Baby. It's just like this really like stressful
Yeah.
like comedy. It's kind of reminds me very like tonally of like Uncut Gems or Punch Drunk Love, and how it's like very, very anxious. It's like a character like going through like everything's going wrong. It's really great, super short. It's only like an hour 18 or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
nice.
very short.
It's really great.
Yeah, it's very stressful.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there the whole time and you just... I think when it ended, the first thing I said was, now I can breathe, because it was just one of those films. It was really suffocating. It was all set in like one place, and it was just horrible. Like, it was
really funny
horrible.
movie. Debut from Emma Seligman. Looking forward to seeing what she does next.
Yeah, it was a good film. I recommend it. If you haven't seen it, Max, I think you should.
Yeah.
Some others I'll just quickly go through them instead of talking about them a bit more. We've got Another Round, which is really great. Minari, Nobody, obviously French Dispatch, which we all liked. Last Night in Soho, and also Green Knight. I'd
Awesome.
recommend all of those if you haven't seen them.
For sure. Yeah. I'll do a couple of honourable mentions. I want to watch The Power of the Dog again.
Yeah,
the new
I still
Jane
need to watch
Campion
that.
movie.
Mhm.
It was really good. So I don't think I got everything that I could have out of it. So I would like to watch that again. It's really well done. And I think Benedict Cumberbatch is really very good in it. I think he was in a lot of movies this year, but like that might have been his best performance. Maybe. I don't know. There's another one Darcy and I saw yesterday was The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne.
Yes.
And that was a really beautiful movie about like this guy who, I guess he was kind of schizophrenic, and like just a lot of horrible shit happened to him. He lost a lot of his loved ones,
Yeah.
and like he kind of found solace in painting and drawing cats. It was really quite sad and poetically so. It was like probably like one of the best looking movies I've seen all year. It was really lovely.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
It was very psychedelic.
Yeah, I was trying to tell Chris it was like really pastely and hazily and hazy.
Easy. Yeah, it was.
Like blurry. But like,
Yeah,
really
okay.
nice.
It wasn't trying to be like super sharp or anything. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. Honorable mention: Spider-Man: No Way Home was good. Minari was great. Judas and the Black Messiah I liked a lot.
Yeah.
No Time to Die. I talked about that a bit. My favourite James Bond movie now. Titan, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed it. I want to see it again. The Suicide Squad was like it was like one of the best superhero movies of the year. It might have been the best superhero movie.
Yeah, I'd say it's the best.
Yeah, it was really good. Really enjoyed it. Nobody, The French Dispatch, Come On. The Last Duel was great. I saw that twice. I saw Petite Maman, the new Cillian Scammer movie, alone, and I think that will go up on a second watch. I found it to be really unique, and it's very short as well. It's like an hour and 20 or something, and it didn't need to be longer than that. And I cried at the end because it kind of all hits home at the end. It's kind of about like understanding your loved ones a bit more and finding connection with like how the past blends into the present and the future a lot. It's really like it's kind of weird with the way it plays with time, but I'll recommend that a lot. I think I probably enjoy that a lot more on a second watch. So I hope it comes out on like a Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's showing at number 6 in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna go when it plays.
Yeah, I might go too. Bo Burnham's Inside was really brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. And last honourable mention I'll say is Spencer. Fantastic movie.
Pretty sure all of my top 5 was in your honourable mentions.
I was just about to say same.
Mhm.
So we're not going to have tons to talk about now, but there we go.
That's all right.
Do you have
Oh,
any
and
honourable
Malignant.
mentions?
You know what? I
Do
really
I
enjoyed
know?
that.
No? So we just go to my number 5.
Yeah, crack on.
So my number 5 was Bo Burnham's Inside.
Mhm.
Okay.
Really, really great. I guess it's like kind of a comedy special movie sort of thing. It's a bunch of like sketches, a bunch of like songs, all really, really funny, really well written stuff. It's like crazy how he's able to do all of this by himself just in his house. Really great stuff. I want to watch it again. I've only seen it once so far, but I've listened to the album a couple of times.
Yeah. That's like an album that I've been bopping to all year. Fantastic. I think that was like the most listened to album of this year for me, or of last year. It was really good. I did watch it 2 times as well. I think he's like a really great comedian, honestly. He's like one of the best working today.
Yeah, it's my favourite thing he's done.
Absolutely.
It is probably the
I
best
think a lot of
thing
people
he's done.
resonated with it. It was like quite upsetting.
I felt like it came out at the right time, though. I felt like everyone was kind of in that.
They're in that headspace.
Yeah, and I feel like it was kind of relatable in that kind of sense.
Mhm.
I mean, not that it wouldn't have been relatable anyway, but I felt like more people kind of connected with it because of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like how kind of sad it was while like also being like really funny as well. I like that kind of blend when people like directors can do that, and sometimes it's not very good and not very well handled, but he does it very well. Is it my 5?
It is your 5.
My number 5 is Another Round by Thomas Vinterberg.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a fantastic movie about it's like a really simple plot where like just these teachers decide to get drunk and like maintain a certain level of drunkenness throughout the day, and it kind of it comes with like this interesting examination of how we see and view alcohol and how we consume it when we use it to have fun, but it can become a problem if we indulge too much in it. And I think it's quite often vilified, where like it's sort of like an indulgence, you know. If you drink too much, then like it's not really seen as a good thing, and it's not. But like, I think it doesn't portray alcohol in such a binary way. It's like, well, you know, it's there and we use it, and it can be good for us. You know, they say like drink a glass of wine a day and it actually makes you healthier. And I think there's a lot to do with like this obsession that people have with it, or like the way that we use it is sometimes it's not. I mean, for me, I like went what was it like last year, and I stopped drinking for like 6 months ish, or like it was like from September to December, I think. So not like maybe 3 months. Yeah, I found it to be like, it was really sad, but it was also like a celebration of like life, I think, in a way that we can like indulge in life to that kind of extreme, but like know when to ground ourselves a bit.
Yeah, really great movie. I actually like looked behind me. I was like, I'm surprised you haven't got it on Blu-ray yet.
I do.
I do.
Yes.
Guess I just missed it.
It's right there at the top there.
It is, I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was looking
Really
at the
good.
wrong shelf.
Mads Mikkelsen's probably his best performance, I think, for me. Although
He's great in The Hunt.
he's fantastic. Yeah, he's really good in The Hunt. Yeah. Maybe that is, yeah, honestly, it's too hard to pick. He's like one of my favourite actors.
I've only seen him in that TV show that he was in.
Hannibal.
Hannibal, yeah.
Bloody good show.
It is a good show.
Yeah.
So he is a good actor. I just haven't seen him in much.
You got a top 5?
Mine is also Inside.
Yep.
By Burnham.
Awesome.
Go on, Chris. What's your 4th?
Bear me 2 sec.
Caught him off guard. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I thought you were going to talk
Oh,
a bit
shit.
longer." Oh no, not
I've
Bo
already talked
Burnham.
about
My number 4, Spencer.
Yeah.
A really great movie about Lady Diana, which I wasn't expecting to love as much as I did. But it was just like a really, really great portrait of just this one person going through this really rough time in her life.
Mhm.
Just like the incredible like psychological damage to being in that universe like of the royal family can be, and like the amount of pressure it can put on someone and how it can just basically drive them insane. One of the best performances of the year as well.
Yeah, I would say so. I really loved her. I think, and the fact that it's only set over like 3 days is quite interesting, because you would almost expect that to be something that was set over like maybe a lifetime or like
Yeah.
maybe a few years. But I think they kind of got to like, I mean, I won't say that it got her exactly right, because I don't know. But I think it was a very interesting character piece. It was like, I will say it's probably like the best character movie of the year, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Finally won me over on Kristen Stewart. Wasn't sure about her, but
Yeah. No, she's fantastic, honestly. I'm convinced she can do anything now.
yeah, I'm excited to see what she does next.
If she doesn't win the Best Actress category, I won't be surprised, but like,
I would be
Still be
surprised. I think she
disappointed.
was incredible
Yeah.
in this movie.
Yeah,
But,
but stuff like that is like not rigged in them kind
it's
of
like-
favour, is it?
the Oscars.
Yeah, and this is what I mean.
So I don't know, maybe it is kind of
No.
like an Oscar kind of movie.
Yeah, it's
to be honest.
period piece. They love movies about like royalty and stuff.
Yeah. I think it kind of flips that on its head a bit though.
Yeah, so it'll probably be like super up their street
Yeah.
because it's about what they like, but it's something different about what they like.
Yeah, we'll see. Might go, yeah.
Yeah.
4, The Green Knight.
Cool.
Bloody loved it so much. It was really weird. It was really strange. And I would like to watch it again at some point. I've only seen it the once, and I'm glad that we waited to see it in the cinema, because I do think it demands that kind of viewing. I think Dev Patel was amazing. It looks amazing. David Lowery's like probably really one of my favorite directors now with this and Ghost Story. He's making movies that he wants to make, I think, and it can only be like for the good. Because I don't know, I did see Pete's Dragon, and I don't really remember it, but like
I've heard it's not very good, but it's like
one of the better ones.
Yeah, and I've heard there's some like really creative things about it.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think I hated it so much. Like, but when I watched something like, I don't know, Aladdin, I fucking hated.
Because it sucked.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Will Smith?
Yeah. The one
I haven't seen it.
Directed by Guy Ritchie.
Oh, I refuse.
So, like, I was always going to hate it because I can't stand him.
I absolutely refuse to watch that film. Mostly because I'm not going to get into it again, but I just want them to stop making these movies. Please stop making.
They won't.
I know. But that's not why we're here. The Green Knight, that's why we're here. No, I agree. I think if you don't see it in the cinema, I feel like you've been robbed an opportunity to see it.
It's also not for everyone because it's quite weird and very heavily metaphorical. It's not really got like the story so much as it just has like, well, it does have a story, but I don't think it's told in a very traditional type of way, and that can put people off.
I've heard a lot of like really mixed things from people, and I think it's that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Like even people who were into this sort of thing, a lot of them, I've heard a lot of people like not super into it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like, I thought, like, a lot of it was really great, and then a lot of it I didn't care about. It's one of those, like, I'm not here or there with it. Like, I'm not Marmite with this. I think it does have its merits, but I'm also not too into it.
Might be a multiple watch kind of movie.
I'm actually thinking that I might go and watch it again. Mostly just to see that fox again, more than anything else.
I would like to watch it again. I think it might hit home a bit more, which is really saying something because it really did a number on me when I saw it the first time. And I think Dev Patel's like,
he's
fantastic.
Yeah.
He's such a brilliant actor, and he basically carries the entire movie.
Yeah, I want to see him in more stuff.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well, maybe next time.
I'm struggling to do my fourth because do you know what? I'll just go with Titan.
Yeah.
Titan, whatever you want to call it. The Frenchy movie. Me and Chris saw it the other day, and I think the reason I'm picking it is because of just the like visceral reactions it was giving me. Like literally, I sat through almost the whole thing just like trying not to like die of not cringe. What's like? Oh, it was like pain. Like I just felt it. Like this whole film, you just feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite it's a very visceral experience.
Yeah, I just like there was a lot of times where I just wanted to be sick.
Yeah.
It was so gross.
Did you like it when she fucked the car?
Do you know what? I was actually quite disappointed, to be honest. I was expecting, well, for a film that's quite graphic, I was expecting to see a bit more. Why was that? Literally, I couldn't think of why was the cut. Why did it need to be a car? Come on, I don't understand. Why did it need to be a car? Why was she fucking a car? How did that happen? She just comes out of the shower and there's a fucking car there. I don't understand. Good film. I still don't get it though. No, I really liked what's his name?
I have a lot I could say about that sort of like the reason why, but I don't want to like spend like half an hour talking about that movie.
No, but no, I really like that. What's the guy's name? Vincent, that's it. He's a cool guy. I like him. He was good. He was good in this film. I mean, I liked everyone in this film, but I think it's because it was like when you're good at acting and you portray a character in such a way. I hated one of them a lot, and then I liked the other one a lot. So it's kind of just one of those films where you sort of resonate with both of them in a weird kind of way. Though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying anything because this is on my list. So
I thought so. So I'm just gonna let you carry on for now, and then we'll get back around to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same with my number 3 pick. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite high on Max's list. That is Dune.
Yeah.
Really incredible movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Dune.
Denis Villeneuve is one of the, if not the best director working today. He's just like an incredible talent, and he puts so much of that into this movie. It's like, it is made on such a like over the top, like gigantic scope, and I was really worried that it wouldn't work, but I think he did like the best job he possibly could with it, adapting this like really huge story in such a like interesting way. I do get people who like aren't super into it, because I do think it is a movie that is at times quite inaccessible, but I personally just like really fell in love with the movie and was like just engrossed in everything going on.
Yeah, it pays attention to like the finer details, which I think grounds the movie a lot more, and where it could be something that it was a bit too much to handle in terms of its scale. It scales it back just enough so that you actually have something to attach to.
Yeah, I actually had to look up who he was, because I haven't seen the film.
Yeah.
What, Denis Villeneuve?
Mm-hmm.
Great director, my favourite director. So.
Done nothing but great movies from what I've seen. I bought the book of Dune, and that's like one of my plans for this year is to read that and try and get into like the written universe, because I know there's like ridiculous amount of sequels and like spin-offs and stuff.
Yeah, I might wait until it's all finished to read the book.
Yeah. I'm not too worried, only because I know the story from seeing the David Lynch movie. Like that film doesn't do the story well at all, and there's still a lot that this movie delves into that film didn't even touch, but still I know the rough outline and like where it goes and stuff.
Like, I appreciate how like mixed it is. Like, a lot of people love it, and then there's some people that are like, this is so average.
A lot of people, it's really not their cup of tea.
No, I mean, I'm politely and peacefully never going to watch this film, mostly because it is way too long and I know I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, it's not for you.
No, but I appreciate the fact that it exists, because a lot of people love it, and I think that's just what we needed this year, was a lot of good films, even if I'm never going to watch it.
Yeah, there are a lot of good films this year. This is a really good year for film. My number 3 is Wolf Walkers.
I need to see this film.
It is so bloody good. From the moment it started, and I was there on like 10 a.m. because it was the only time they were seeing it. They're showing it at the local. For the moment it started crying because it was so beautifully done. Just like the animation was like meticulous, and it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. The way they use like light in that movie and like the 2D animation, it just gels so well. And I didn't stop crying until the very end. I would love to own it physically, but Apple own it, so it's on like Apple Plus or some shit.
Yeah,
Apple
so it
TV,
came out like the end of 2020 on Apple TV Plus, and then obviously got a theatrical release when the cinemas reopened in the UK.
I would love to watch a movie like this.
Yeah, the only way you can own the film on Blu-ray is by getting like the trilogy of like all the studio's movies, and it's like £50 for all 3 of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I've seen 2 of them, and Wolf Walkers was the only one I was like really in love with.
Yeah, I think it's a great movie, but it's also like a great thing for animation as a whole, and I wish more people had seen it, but I don't think a lot of people did. I would like more eyes on it. I want like more great animated movies, and as far as this year goes, I didn't really see many great animated movies, I'll be honest.
I haven't seen many animated films.
No, there weren't really many this year.
What was it like? The only other one I saw was like The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf, and that was pretty good, honestly. I really like that one. But then like the rest, I don't know, like the rest sucked.
Yeah,
you got, like Raya and the Last Dragon. That was bullshit.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's one of those things where they're making movies rather than like trying to ditch off animation altogether, because it'd be such a shame.
Yeah, well, obviously, Studio Ghibli are making the new Miyazaki movie, which hopefully will be out in the next couple of years. But that movie's been in development for like almost 10 years.
This is the problem. They spend so much time making them.
Yeah, especially with this movie where I think Miyazaki's doing a lot of the animation himself.
Oh
like
my
doing
God.
it all personally.
Do you know what?
So.
I respect animation so much as an art form. It is so time consuming, but when it's done right, it is like literally, it's so much better than any live action.
2D animation.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I do not want animation to die ever.
Me and Darcy are watching through Adventure Time at the moment, and some of the animation in that is so creative and interesting for 2D.
Fun.
Like just for like a 2D like kids TV show, it's just like so inventive.
I just love animation.
They put a lot of effort into that show. It's really good. I think Wolf Walkers was probably, it had like my favourite musical score in it. You got Bruno Coulet, who did the score for Coraline, which is also one of my favourites. and I got Wolf Walkers on vinyl, really nice, like orange vinyl.
Ooh.
It is beautiful,
It is really great.
and it really puts you in like the environment that they're in. It's like this medieval time, and it's all like really magical, and like there are wolves everywhere, and it's awesome. It's like it's not just like it's not really a kids movie. I don't think. I think it's like maybe kids can enjoy it. But I don't know if that's who they made it for. I think it's a movie for like everyone. But then no one saw it.
Has kind of like a How to Train Your Dragon sort of story where I think that adults are going to get a lot out of it, but obviously there's like a lot of great like morals and stuff for kids.
Yeah, I feel like you could call this a family film in that case.
But I felt like I was getting out of it like what other people were not getting out of it, and that's why I cried so much, because it kind of hit home on like a more deeper resonance for me. Because it's a lot to do with like I think family and like trying to be someone that other people don't like, or like would rather see you do something else, and it's a lot to do with like people who take others kind of under their wing, or like show people kindness that other people are not showing them. I think that's what really hit for me.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot about like acceptance and like understanding people who are different as well.
Yeah.
I guess didn't you say there was obviously kids in the screening, weren't there? The one that you went to?
There's like one family there.
Yeah, I mean, I assume so. I mean, I don't know about the adults, but obviously for kids, a lot of that, it kind of goes in, but it doesn't really resonate with them because they're too young to have those sorts of experiences, if that makes sense. So it's not really personal to them, but I think it's a nice thing for them to see. I don't know, like when I was younger, I kind of wish we had more films
Yeah, I would have
in
loved
that kind of
something
way.
like this as a kid.
But oh well,
Really good,
what can you do? I just got Wall-E, but even then, that was a great film. So
Yeah. I think if I were to see that again, maybe that would be like the best movie of the year for me.
if it ever shows, I might go because I really want to see it. But I'm gonna end up just watching it on TV. Let's be honest. What number are we on? 4, 3.
3.
No one's gonna be too surprised, but mine is The French Dispatch.
It's bloody good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw it the day after my birthday. I was on a high. Not only was it my birthday, but it wasn't my birthday, but riding the high of my birthday, and I've been waiting a year for this film to come out, and I was like, this is finally here, my Wes Anderson movie, and I loved it, but it's not my favourite.
Yeah.
Loved it.
That's kind of how I felt about it. I really enjoyed the movie. There's a lot I wasn't like super into, and I feel like on a second watch, this is either going to be a movie that I like far less or like far more.
Yeah.
But it was just like a really great experience getting to finally watch a Wes Anderson movie in the cinema.
Yes.
Because I've like wanted to do that for so long. Like I got into him just after Grand Budapest came out.
Yeah, I wanted to see Isle of Dogs, but I didn't know anyone at the time.
Isle of Dogs, but I didn't have anyone to go with.
No, neither did I. How
Neither
ironic.
did I.
Even though we lived together at the time.
Yeah, that was the ironic part. I always wanted my ex to go with me. I was like, oh, let's go see Isle of Dogs. No, okay. Oh, well.
Yeah. I think like Wes Anderson's like the director I've watched the most of this year, honestly. He's like all his movies are so like wholesome. I think he never misses, really.
No, I feel like I don't know, like now that I've seen his films in a cinema, I feel like they should only be seen in a cinema. I feel like there's just
I'm a little annoyed because I don't think
I
don't think our cinema knows how to frame his movies.
Oh God, here we go again.
Yeah, I did complain about
Here
that,
we go again.
Yeah.
It was framed wrong, sorry, it sucked.
I didn't even notice it, but you went to see it again, didn't you? And it was even worse the second
Yeah, it
time.
was even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think consistently Wes Anderson's like the director along with David Lynch, who like every single year I pretty much watch all of his movies because I just like get so much out of them and always enjoy them. They're just like always my go-to when I'm like having a shit day or like I'm in a really bad mood.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I think what Wes Anderson does is he gives me that sensory experience of just pure joy. It's like all these colours in like one space is just enough to fill me with euphoria. I just love it. There's something about watching his films just gives me like just pure serotonin.
He's not out there making people miserable.
Yeah. Even the thing
it's
is,
a valuable experience for me, but like sometimes you want something that's kind of like a hug, which all his movies are.
Yeah.
Even films like the Royal Tenenbaums or Darjeeling Limited that are like incredibly like emotional are still like really warm at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those directors that can kind of like give you the good and the bad, if that makes sense. Like, oh, sometimes things are bad, but they'll get better. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a wholesome.
It's very optimistic.
Yeah.
With his filmmaking.
I love that.
I think for the longest time I had like Fantastic Mr. Fox as my favourite from him, but like I watched Darjeeling Limited again the other day. I was just felt head over heels in love with it.
I love that film, but I need to see it again.
Brilliant. It's a really brilliant movie.
Yeah, I got the Criterion. I've only seen it once, so I'm looking forward to rewatching it again at some point.
I love
soon.
Adrian Brody in that film. Like, he's such a geezer.
He's a
I love him.
geezer he is.
It's the first Wes Anderson film I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, someone on Tumblr recommended it to me. That's how long ago it was. It's because they,
Back in the
like
bygone
reblogging all
days.
they were like reblogging all the like nice scenery and like all the colours and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, I need to watch this film. So I like watched it on my iPod.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I know.
god. Oh man.
To be fair, I think I did that with the Royal Tenenbaums first time I watched that because that was the first film of his I watched.
Yeah. Watched it on an iPod Touch as well. So what, like a 3-inch
so
screen
did I.
or something? Yeah.
Christ.
I need to watch it again.
If there were ever a way not to watch a movie.
I also watched the whole series of Game of Thrones on an iPod Touch as well. So
Yeah, I used to watch films all the time of mine. I remember watching all the Saw movies on there.
yeah. I think I
Oh,
watched
man.
Martyrs on my
Yeah.
phone.
Martyrs.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I watched it on my Samsung. Yeah, I don't know why.
Can watch a movie on your fucking telephone. Honestly.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah. My number 2 movie was a movie that when I saw it, I put as my number 1, but now it's flipped back to number 2. That's Come On, Come On. Really great Mike Mills movie. It's like just one of the most powerful movies I've watched this year. Really incredible Joaquin Phoenix performance. Just a really funny, beautiful movie that I'm like super excited to rewatch.
I love this film. I'm going to watch it again every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah, really nice surprise, I think, because I didn't really hear much about it, but I just kind of went because Joaquin Phoenix was in it.
Yeah, I was kind of the same.
Yeah, it turned out to be amazing.
Oh, I was bored and on I was looking at the film and Chris was like, oh, I need to go see this film. And I was going to go see The House of Gucci. And then I was like, actually, maybe I'll go watch this film because it looks more up my alley. And I was glad I did.
Yeah, it's apparently House of Gucci isn't very good.
No, I'm glad because apparently it's also too long. That was also another deciding factor was that this film was slightly shorter. So I went, okay, I'll go see this one instead.
Yeah, I definitely really want to watch more of Mike Mills's movies because this was really great.
This gave me the max effect. Like, I literally started it crying and I ended it crying. I don't think I stopped. Like, I was just sitting there, like, and there was this person who was coming, like the people that work at the cinema and they come in to see if everyone's all right, like checking who's in, counting the seats and stuff. And I was just like crying every time this person has come in. I was like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. Lovely movie.
Yeah.
My second favourite of the year is The Father.
Oh, yeah.
This is a brilliant movie.
I need to watch this film so bad, but I know it's going to kill me.
Watch it alone.
It's very sad.
I heard it's going to kill me.
It is so beautiful. It is one of the most creative movies of the year. It could have been so bland and just a bog standard examination of like dementia, I think, but it does really weird and creative things with the editing and like how it's shot that makes it you're put into the perspective of how this person is experiencing life in this way. It's very heartbreaking. Anthony Hopkins is probably putting on the best one of the best performances of the year, I would say. He's really fantastic. This might be like my favorite performance from him.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He gets like the character so incredibly right, and he does it so well. He carries this really intense vulnerability to him, and like I don't know what it is about like seeing grown men cry and like calling out to their parents, but fucking hell, it is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was kind of worried going into this movie because from the plot it sounded very similar to Mikhail Haneke's Amor. And I was worried I was just going to spend the whole film comparing it to that, although it is tonally quite similar and it is like almost just as devastating. I definitely think this movie's very creative in how it tells a story and doesn't just like feel like the exact same as that. It's like interesting seeing this like mental deterioration like story told in such a different way.
See, films like that really give me like the fear, because like at least films like Spider-Man would like never happen, but films like that do happen, and like it gives me the ick.
That's what's so great about it, though. It's very small scale as well. There's like a handful of actors there, but like I really loved how they kind of played with that, and like different actors were sometimes like they played different people. The same actors played the same or different people as the movie went along, and you kind of understood that he was experiencing this thing where like he couldn't differentiate between different people in his life, and like he forgets a lot about people who just come and go out of his life. You got like really great performances from Olivia Colman, Mark Gatiss as well. Who was the guy? Was he in Old? the guy. I'm just gonna Google it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was the guy from Old.
Yeah.
Who?
I'll get his name up. It's like I don't want to butcher it. Sorry. His name was. Let's see. Rufus Sewell. Rufus Sewell, yeah. He put on a really good performance, and like he carried like a meanness to him that was like so harsh. Where like he was just like yelling at him. I was like, what? Why would you do this to him? He's like, because Anthony Hopkins, who plays Anthony, he's like he is such a vulnerable character. It's like anytime somebody like chastises him, it's like a horrible attack, I think. And it gets me thinking about like growing old, or like people who I love growing old and seeing them deteriorate in this way, which I don't know if it's bound to happen, but it could, you know. And I get what you're saying, Darcy. Like
that's heavy.
It's
yeah,
horrible. It's horrible to think about, but like I think we need more movies like this that kind of it's so easy not to talk about like these things, like to just say yeah and just go along with life, but like I think it makes it harder in the end if you just you block all that stuff out and you don't think about death or like deterioration, and like when it comes to the end, like you're completely unprepared for it because you never like we're so like sheltered as a culture, I think, with these kinds of things. And like you see like maybe different cultures who experience death in a different way. It's almost like a celebration of a life afterwards, whereas we don't really take it like that. I know that's what funerals are supposed to be, but they are bleak.
Yeah,
you know?
like I think it's one of those like you know it's almost like a subject that like you need to know about, but also like I don't know, it's one of those things that people avoid because it's just so heavy and like so horrible, especially when it could happen to anybody, like even yourself. And I think that's one of the things that like, especially for me, like it's just horrible. Like at the same time, I'd probably watch it because like, at least it's one of those things that you can be like more, I don't know, not prepared as such, but I feel like you'll know how not to react or whatever. But I just feel like it's just such a horrible way to go. Like I always just think to myself, if that ever happened to me, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna let it. I'm just not gonna let life do me dirty like that, I don't think.
This is one of those movies that like came out last year officially because he got best actor for this one, I think, Anthony Hopkins for the Oscars. But like it came out in the UK like 3-5 months after.
Yeah.
We just got
everything
late.
Didn't he win it, but he didn't go?
No, he was at home.
Yeah, he wasn't at home. That's what I meant. But did he not win it and not go?
No, he won it, but he was just at home.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. No, because I heard about it and everyone was like slagging him off because he wasn't there.
Yeah,
even though he's an old man and COVID is happening. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like every year we do get like the Oscar movies late, but it's very rare we get some of them like after the ceremony. They normally come out just before because there's a lot of hype surrounding the movies
I thought it
and
did come
everyone's
out
going to
just
want to go.
before.
No, it came out like 2 or 3 months after.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh no, I completely forgot. I thought it. Oh, I don't know when I don't even know when it came out. To be honest, I thought it was quite early in the year.
Yeah. So I have to count it as like a 2021 movie when a lot of people count it as a 2020 movie, but it's like
Yeah.
if it got to like the end of this year, then like I couldn't count it as this year and I wouldn't be able to talk about it because it like
Yeah, because it would be
it
too late.
literally was
yeah.
inaccessible to me.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just how it rolls in the UK, though, isn't it? It's just how it be.
Yep.
Right, we are number
You're
2.
number
Yeah.
2.
My pick is The Last Duel, of course.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it only got overruled by one other movie because
Mhm.
this film was definitely going to be the film of the year for me.
Yeah. Last Duel was bloody fantastic.
It was so good. And it's really weird because I think what made it even better for me was that it's a topic that I don't care about. Like, I don't like, I wouldn't even say like period, like medieval, that
Yeah.
kind of historical. Don't really like historical movies, to be honest. But I like the subject they were going for, like what they were tackling, that kind of thing. And I think that's what made it better for me, is that if you can win me over on a film that I don't really care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
It was
really
so
well structured.
good.
I think the direction was fantastic, despite, Ridley Scott's claims that it bombed because of the millennials. Take that out of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It is just a really brilliant movie.
I think
Yeah,
Ridley
it was
Scott's
just
an
marketed
idiot.
really badly, and that's not Ridley Scott's fault. It's Disney's fault because they're obviously trying to sabotage everything Fox are doing.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, I know.
every single Fox property from this year, apart from Free Guy, has gotten like the worst marketing possible.
Yeah,
It's
it was a
basically
real
just
shame.
been
And then, oh yeah,
non-existent.
that's who was in it. In Free Guy, is it Jodie Comer? Or something?
Jodie Comer, yeah.
Yeah, she was in that film, and it's really funny when you see actors in films, and you can tell when they've got a good film or not because they're good actors, but they
Yeah.
can be shit in a film because of bad writing and things. And that's what Free Guy was like. And then you see her in The Last Duel, and you're like, oh wow,
Oh, it's one of the
She's
best
amazing.
performances of the year.
yeah, like what on earth happened there? I do not know.
She is fantastic. Yeah. She's absolutely amazing in that movie.
Yeah, it was so powerful. It was like it almost felt like like empowering. Like it was almost like weirdly uplifting, but
Yeah.
in a way that was kind of like I can't
It's
explain
surrounded
it. It was
by
just,
a lot of bleak
Yeah.
subject matter. And it is kind of like, because it's of that time, things...
it was almost a norm.
It could
in those,
end well, but like well is like almost just like terrible by our standards,
yeah, well,
Like, no
for
matter
them,
how
it's
it
not good,
ends,
yeah.
like it kind of doesn't matter.
Especially with like the sciences and things involved, where it's
Mm.
like, oh, God will decide,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess he will.
God shall deign it to be so.
Yeah.
I have yet to see this movie, but I'm looking forward to it. It got like simultaneously released on Blu-ray and Disney Plus on the same day, weirdly. So it's accessible to me now, so I will definitely get around to watching it.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
please
should.
do. Please do.
Yeah, I need to watch in the next couple of weeks before
Next
In
couple
the
of
next
years,
couple
I'll give it a
years.
decade.
in the
That's
next
quite a
couple of
deadline.
weeks because I'm making my best films of
Yep.
the year video, and I don't want to make that video without having watched this and a couple other movies.
I
Yeah,
think.
definitely.
I
just in
hope it
case,
makes
I
your
really
list.
love 'em.
I hope it does because the film is incredible.
You need
Yes,
to watch
we'll
that,
see.
and you need to watch Petit Maman.
Yeah, I'll see that when it's at number 6 when
Yeah.
I can actually see it.
Awesome.
Cool. Number one.
Yeah.
What's the best movie of the year?
My number 1 movie is Titane.
Of course it is.
I really, really loved it the first time around. And then when me and Darcy saw it again a couple of days ago, I just like completely fell head over heels in love with it. It's honestly one of the best movies I think I've ever seen. It's just like really, really shook me up, really emotionally, like, and physically. Just I left the screening just like completely destroyed. I was like crying throughout the entire end credits because it like really, really fucked me up.
I can
But-
vouch for this. It
Mhm.
did happen. The thing is, I knew he was crying, but part of me was like so engrossed in the film that I
it
just
was like your first time. You kind
Yeah, I
of
was
have
just
to
like-
process it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was like sitting there going, okay, what has happened?
Yeah, it
And
is-
Chris is like
yeah.
just in tears, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening.
It's kind of just like what I love from like just really subversive art, how it can be really shocking and at times like disturbing and hard to watch, but a lot of it can also be like really emotionally powerful, maybe for reasons you don't completely understand. It's why David Lynch is my favorite director, because I feel like all his films kind of do that to me. And yeah, that's just kind of how I felt about this movie. It's really strange, really creative and original, but super like emotionally powerful as well.
I think what I liked about the film was that it was quite different to a lot of films that I've seen in ways that I didn't quite understand. I was sitting throughout most of it thinking, okay, so this is happening and that thing's happening and this was a choice that was made, but like none of it was like without purpose or without like substance to the story. Like everything made sense apart from the car thing. But then if Chris wants to briefly explain why he thinks the car was there, I think he actually mentioned this the other day and I've completely forgotten what he said. I think you did.
I think it's just kind of like,
go on, tell me.
Humans, like, we just have like this almost like sexualization of cars and like machinery. Like we almost like fetishize them and how we're obsessed with them and how we like make them such like a huge part of our lives to the point where, you know, I feel like they're almost like integral to who we are now.
Yeah, maybe that is what you said, because I kind of got that idea from when because obviously oh my god, I don't even remember her name in the film. The lady who is the lead in the film.
What, Alexa?
That's the one. Her. When she's like grinding and like modelling on like top of these cars and stuff, I'm like, that is literally like the epitome of
like the male fantasy. Like
no, do you know what? I don't want to say it
cars.
because I don't want to generalise like men into that kind of, but yeah, I feel it, like, you know, when men are like, oh yeah, like I love my cars and I love my tits, it's like that is what that was like. It just felt so, I almost felt kind of seedy as well. Like, it was just like gross, and I was like, oh my god, this is literally
a gross movie.
Yeah, like this is the epitome of like my hell for so many reasons. But that's why this film kind of worked, was because it was so gross.
Very like great body horror stuff throughout.
It was horrible in every way possible, and I was like, okay. And there was that one bit in particular, right, so basically my teeth are just in like constant agony at the moment, right? And there was that one bit where she like shoves this like stool through that guy's mouth, and you could hear it crunch, and I was like, oh my god, and my teeth were vibrating. Oh my god. Quite possibly the worst part, apart from the nose breaking.
Yeah.
Those two
really
were the worst
brutal
bits.
stuff. Yeah.
Literally, I was sitting there like every single second I was going, like try like literally like just cringing. Oh my god.
Really great performances all throughout. I think Vincent Linden, who plays the character of Vincent, delivered my favourite performance of the year.
He is
Just
so
the character
sweet.
is so well written, like really like beautiful, emotional character.
I just wanted to like pick him up, even though I know I'll never be able to do that in any world.
Yeah.
And just like give him a nice hug. Like, oh my god, I felt so bad for him. Like, do you know what? I can't even express how like horrible I felt for him.
Yeah. The film won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, which is like
A what?
the Palme d'Or is like the big award at Cannes Film Festival.
Oh, nice.
It's like the main award, and I find
he won it.
No, the film won
the film won it.
I find that's normally like a better indication for quality than what wins Best Picture at the Oscars.
Yeah, I mean, that film was incredible. I mean, I probably would need to see it again, because there were parts of it where I was like, I was kind of doing what I did with quite a few films this year, where I was like kind of dipping in and out of it a little bit, but I was never like bored. It was more of a...
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, I think it was more of it was just to do with me not being able to process it properly. But then that's just a me problem and not a film problem.
It's a movie that I don't think you can watch once and get everything out of it. Like,
no.
The second time watching it, I had like almost a completely different experience with the movie.
Maybe that's what it was. I think the first time you watch it, you just need to process it, and then the second time you watch it, you need to get what you were supposed to get out of it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Really good movie. I want to see Raw.
Oh, Raw is really so
great as well.
gross.
Raw's like far grosser.
Yeah. Nice.
That like is really like disgusting horror stuff.
Well,
I do recommend it though. Do watch it if and when you can.
Mm-hmm. My favourite movie is Dune.
Of course it's Dune.
Denis Villeneuve never misses.
Yeah, didn't you watch it like 9 times?
I watched it 4 times.
Oh, is that it?
fourth time. What do you mean? Is that it?
Oh, I thought you
it's
saw it.
I don't
No, I
know.
thought you saw it more times than that. I thought you saw it at least 6.
No. I saw it first two times alone, and I went with my brother, and then I went with my dad. I knew it was going to be on my dad's street because he bloody loves sci-fi, and I think this is like the one of the best sci-fi movies of this century, if I'm allowed to say that. I think it's so well handled. I think, going off of what I said earlier, yeah, it could have been handled really badly, and we have like a precedent for that because of like the other bad adaptations or adaptation.
There's only
There's
one,
been
I think.
multiple.
There's been
like
multiple.
one movie and like TV shows.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So,
Apparently the TV shows are okay, but
yeah, it's so high concept, you know, and it's like, I haven't read the book, but like you can tell Denis has read that cover to cover like a million times over. He is like the best director working today, and you know, it's almost like you would be like, yeah, but he's the best sci-fi director working today, but like what he's able to do with film is like unparalleled for me. You know, how can you like make Blade Runner 2049, which is like my favorite movie ever, and then go on to make Dune, which is comparatively, you know, it's on a much grander scale, but it still works. He just
like
doesn't miss.
and like a decade previously, do like something like Insondi is something that's completely different in every single way.
Yeah, but doesn't that just say more about him as a director?
Yeah,
Rather
he's a
than,
great
like,
director.
Like, it's literally, you could just give him anything, it sounds.
Yeah, I've heard people say that like it's not good and like the performances aren't good, but it's just like a lot of people that we know in it, and I kind of disagree with that like hugely. I think the performances are spot on. Timothée Chalamet, he's a really great actor who is in a lot this year.
He has
And I
been in
think
a lot, yeah.
He pulled off like a really brilliant performance as Paul Atreides. He's like a really interesting character to me. Same goes for like Rebecca Ferguson as his mother, and even just like characters who come in and out of the scene, and then you don't really get much from them, but like in terms of like screen time, but like you understand their character very well. And
Yeah.
Javier Bardem was kind of like that. He was really interesting. Jason Momoa, who came in, he was like a really fantastic character. Almost wanted to see more of him. But
I think my favorite character in the film was Oscar Isaacs.
yeah,
He was really great, and
Oh, he's
obviously he's just like one of the best actors alive.
yeah, he really brilliant actor. What else? What is he? He was in The Card Counter as well. Yeah,
He was really
Oh,
good.
the
in that.
card
he was good in
counter.
that. To be fair, he pulls off just like he never misses either. I think he's fantastic.
Like, I'm like trying to look for reviews of this film that aren't like, when people like me that put like a bad score and then like just make a joke. I want to see like a serious review of someone who didn't like this film, but I'm
Yeah,
finding it really hard to find one, even though everyone's like, oh, okay, it looks and sounds beautiful, but it's also very dull and boring, and I didn't care what was happening. I really hope I like part 2 more.
Mhm.
Go you, Emmanuel. At least he's hopeful.
I've heard a lot of people say that they find it hard to really love this movie because they don't know how part 2 is going to be.
But that's
That's
bullshit.
Right,
That's
a
like saying
stupid
Fellowship
thing
of the
to-
Ring sucked because like I haven't seen the next 2.
Yeah, that is a very tragic way to set your precedents for a film. Isn't it? If you like the film, just like the film. Don't be
Yeah.
scared to like the film. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, for me, I reckon all the things that people don't like about it is exactly what I wouldn't like about it. Because
Mhm.
people are just talking about how like it's really long
Yeah.
and really boring, and I'm like, for me, that is exactly what it would be. So
As
that's
a
one of the
movie that
reasons I
tells a
don't want to see
complete
it.
story, it sucks, right? Because it's not telling a complete story.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it's only half of it.
Yeah, this
the
is what I
book.
mean. It's only part
So
of
how
it.
do you get to the end of that and then go, it's not even the end?
Of
What
course
do you
it's
want me to think about
Do
that?
you know-
It's not, you didn't even finish it. It's like,
no,
it
do you
was
what?
part
That's,
one.
right, and that's the problem, right? Because this is exactly what happened, right? People will complain that that's not the end of it, but then if you try to do it all in one film, they would complain that you've rushed it. So you're not going to win on either side of the
Yeah.
coin. But I think it's better to not finish it and then carry it on and, try and flush it out to the point where you can actually explain things
Yeah,
properly.
I'm just glad that it was a huge hit, so part 2 can exist. Because if this was all we got, then it definitely I don't think I'd like it as much as I do.
Yeah, sure.
Because it does end very, very suddenly.
Is it?
It's
It's abrupt.
yeah, like even compared to like the Fellowship of the Ring, where I feel like that does actually like build up to like this huge like cliffhanger ending almost. This movie I felt like didn't really have that.
That's
But it
fair
doesn't
enough.
need to have that for me. Only if it was like just the one movie.
No, I just. I mean, maybe if someone had forced me to watch it, maybe I would, but I don't think I'm ever going to watch it out of choice, ever.
Yeah, I appreciated where they ended it. It was kind of like a new chapter where like he'd gone through a lot, and this is like something completely different that he needs to do now. And
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll get from part 2.
See, the only reason I want to watch it now is purely to see whether I'd completely hate it or really like it. But at the same time, I don't want to put myself through nearly 3 hours of sci-fi shite.
It comes out on Blu-ray at the end of the month, so I'll come round here and watch it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I actually think I would enjoy it more if I was watching it with you guys. I don't think I'd watch it on my own. There's no damn way I'm watching it on my own.
I'll like scream the entire time 'cause I find it so amazing. It's jaw-dropping. It is so gorgeous.
I've heard it's really pretty to look
You're
at.
going to get the 4K, man.
Oh, absolutely. How could I not?
What a question. What?
Now I've got 4K capability. I can do it now.
Oh yeah, now you have the capacity to do it.
Yeah, brilliant movie. Thanks, Denny. What's your number 1 then, Darcy?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, mine's Come On. Because
Yeah.
it was quite possibly, well, it's one of those movies, right? Like, Titan had that like effect on me where I was like feeling horrible.
Mhm.
This had the opposite effect where I was just crying the whole time because it was just such a nice display of humanity, and I loved it in every way possible. It was like, I love films that give me the like metaphorical hug,
Mhm.
and I loved it. It's just there was nothing I didn't like about this film.
Makes you feel less alone.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not exactly like a lonely person either.
Mhm.
There was just something about it that just made me think like there are some things within myself, like, not getting too deep or anything, but I have like problems with like regulating like my emotions and stuff like that. And this film was like one of those. It was almost like a punch to the face for me because like this kid is like 8 or 9 or whatever, and he has better ways of communicating than I do. And it was just one of those films that made me think, oh, maybe I should just like try and speak words out of my brain, but it's really difficult to do. And it was just one of those films where I was like, if I was younger, I wish I had, well, not this film because I wouldn't have watched this film when I was young, but you know, like I wish I had that sort of experience where I was like able to talk through how I was feeling more, if that makes sense, rather than brushing everything under the carpet because I thought that was like the best thing to do. Like this film for me was like a nice like little lesson, if that makes sense. Like, I just loved it in every way possible.
It's like the best thing about movies is when you get out of it and you're like, that actually taught me something, or like I found something within myself.
Yeah.
You know, that I kind of, maybe I was not paying attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of liken it to like Arrival in a sense, where like it's a lot to do with how we communicate with each other. And I think this is a lot smaller scale than that, but it gets to like the core of how we relate to one another. And I think we need to do more of that, especially nowadays.
Yeah, I feel like this film came at once again the right time, where it was like there's never been.
Like, we're all like systemically in such a horrible low.
Yeah, and we all need some like picking up, and it's also come at a time where some of us are like segregated from each other because of everything that's going on, and I feel like it's just kind of one of those. Just reach out to your people and.
Yeah.
You know, understand what it's like to be in the other shoe and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of the time that could come across as quite cheesy, but I think they did it really, really well in this. And I was like, oh, it's just weird when you relate to a 50-year-old man and a 9-year-old boy. Do you know what I mean? It's really weird when you can relate to both of them at the same time.
It's good that it shows we're all people and we're all experiencing the same kind of things.
Yeah, it's just how you deal with it, I guess. And I love it. I just loved it so much.
Lovely. That's the movies.
No, it's the movies.
Yeah.
And we've been here for 4 million years and we're still going.
Now I guess we'll do TV. We'll watch some TV. And, oh, you know what? I wanted to talk, well, this is going to be a quick thing. I watched a couple of stand-up specials And I think it's a kind of a shame because like none of them are like female stand-up specials. I didn't
I
really.
only watched one that I remembered, and that was the Dave Chappelle one.
The Closer.
Yeah,
that was
The Closer.
decent. I don't know. It was all right. I'm kind of upset that like I didn't really see much from like female comics. I think the stand-up circuit is very male-dominated.
It is.
Yeah.
Were there
See
any
a bit of a
female ones?
change.
I don't know.
I mean,
No, that's
I
not
just
good.
kind of went by like what Netflix put on the front page. I didn't really go seeking a lot of them.
Oh, okay, fair
It's a
enough.
shame. Was it Jimmy Carr did one? His Dark Material.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
I thought it was fine. It was all right, but it was kind of disjointed, and he really wants people to think he has a really dark sense of humor, but like he doesn't really.
I don't particularly think he's that funny a person. To be honest.
I don't like his stand-up. I like him in like 8 out of 10 Cats, and like when he does like those big fat quiz of the years with like all the comedians. I really enjoy those. I think he's funny in that sort of setting.
Yeah, I feel like because he bounces off other people. I don't think he's funny on his own.
He's good at like he's very witty. He's like really good at having those like quick comebacks to people.
Like he's funny in ways
that's kind of how I
he's
feel
not funny,
about Lee Mack as well. He's like really great at just like making really bad puns, like jumping off of things people say.
Yeah.
But his actual like
when he's like
written stuff is so
something
bad,
and he has to do it on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel that way about a lot of comedians, at least in the British stand-up circuit. There was like a point at the end where he was like, Jimmy Carr, he was like, now for the really dark stuff, and like it was like basically the same jokes he'd been telling throughout, but like I don't know, he joked about cancer and like people dying, or like just stuff that you're like, just because it's dark subject matters doesn't mean the jokes are funny, and it also doesn't make them inherently dark. Like I feel like dark humor is like you're supposed to like, if you laugh at it, you're supposed to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
But I never felt bad when I was laughing. It was like, yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's what I always get. If I'm laughing and I shouldn't be laughing, that's when it's kind of like you're supposed to feel a bit guilty, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're supposed to feel uncomfortable. You're supposed to be like, oh, like you know that laugh where you go, but you're not laughing, but you are laughing. Like for me, that was pretty much the whole of Dave Chappelle's The Closer. Like I was laughing at things that right now, whether we stand with him or not or whatever, there are some things that he jokes about that even if there are jokes, they shouldn't be funny to someone with my sort of belief system. But I was still laughing anyway, and I'll take credit for it. Like I was laughing at things that I shouldn't, me personally, should have been laughing at, but I was fucking laughing anyway. Like I was just like, that is funny, but I don't know why it was so funny to me. If that makes sense.
I enjoyed Dave Chappelle's The Closer. I was in some parts of like Jimmy Carr's stand up where like he would heckle the crowd, but like it was just like, oh yeah, and I fucked your mum, and it's like, oh wow, that's crazy, man.
That's just
his kind of humor.
Yeah, but that's not funny. That's like what 12-year-olds say to each other in the playground.
It's
not funny, is it? It's not original either.
Kind of like jumped about. He was like, now we're going to do this. It's like, I wish you wouldn't say that you would do now the next part. It's like, just do it.
Yeah.
It would flow a bit easier.
It's almost like you're trying to ramp me up for something, and then when I don't find it funny, it's like, oh, I'm disappointed because it wasn't what it was supposed to be.
A couple of others I watched. They're all on Netflix, honestly, because like that's the only way I'm able to see them, or like they're advertised to me. Phil Wang did one called Philly Wang Wang, and that was very good.
What a name!
Yeah, it was very good. I like him as a comic. I don't have much to say on the stand-up itself, but I thought he's very exuberant. He's very he kind of bounces off the walls a lot. I like him a lot. He's very what's the word? Charismatic. Yeah. And I think the best one I watched was like Russell Howard's one, which is called Lubricant, and he did like an hour's stand-up set, and it was more about like relating to people through the pandemic. So I found it to be quite wholesome. It was kind of like a celebration of all we've been through and like how we're able to stand together.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice.
I can't remember if it came out at the end of 2020 or came out beginning of 2021, but I watched Cold Lasagna Hate Myself 1999, James Acaster one, beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And that was really great.
When was that out? I don't remember.
What a great name.
If that was out this year, and it was the best one.
Yeah,
Because that was fantastic.
that was so funny. James Acaster is like probably my favourite comedian working today.
Yeah.
At least in the UK scene. I just think he's really inventive and really hilarious.
Yeah, he's like he might be my favourite stand-up.
I like to say that I have one, but I don't.
Apparently it came out 17th of December last year. So,
Poo. Oh, well.
Well,
but it
either
might have been
way.
that we got to see it this year, like really
Yeah.
early in 2021. Yeah. He's great. Yeah, just I think a lot of like comics were like they work well with other people, but like I wouldn't sit through like a stand-up special of theirs.
Yeah.
It's hard to fill an hour, but that's like the norm now.
I've never really like I've said it before and I'll say it again, but I don't think I would ever pay to go and see a comedian because I'm not really especially if they like film it and they put it on like Netflix, I can just sit there and watch it rather than like sit and pay to be in a room and watch it, if that makes sense. I feel like it's just not something that I think I would do. I mean, I'll probably do it once just to see if it's something that I would never do. But my sister goes to them quite often and I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, what is the point of this?
I think the only two I'd probably do is James Acaster and possibly Bo Burnham.
Yeah. I'm sure there were probably like a few that I'm not thinking of, but like
I just don't
don't
have
know.
any interest.
Some comics are more like I like Catherine Ryan, but I don't like her stand-up. I read her book this year, and I don't really know if I find her so funny, but like I appreciate like what she's able to say and communicate in like not really in a stand-up because it's more like an exaggerated version of herself, but like I listened to her podcast and that's very good. And I read her book and that was also really good. And it was more like just like interesting study into things that she's been through, which I kind of get more out of. And I kind of admire when a comic does a set, let's say, and it's not really about the comedy so much as it is about the commentary on whatever they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like her at all, but I respect her as like, you know, a female comedian trying to make it in, the male dominated, like place
she's
of
really done
comedy.
it.
But yeah, like she's really successful, but I just don't like her at all. But then she's made it and she's famous, so fuck me, right?
Want to see more of that stuff. Want to see more female comedians.
It would be nice to see more female comedians, and I mean, I don't want to say this in like a generic term, but I've not really found any of them really all that funny. But I don't think that's on them. I just don't think I found the right one.
Women aren't funny.
You've heard it here first. No, I just I think there's just not enough of them, so therefore I'm not getting like who I want. If that makes sense. Like I'm not getting the jokes that I require from my female comedians because I need more of them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
TV, then.
TV. What are we doing? Like, I don't think you guys watch much, but I watch quite a bit.
I was just going to list off what I've seen.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I find it hard to get into new TV shows, so I haven't really watched a lot. There's like 2 shows that I guess are pre-existing ones I've just watched like the new seasons of, and then there's like a few others that I watched. Recently you had that Beatles documentary series on Disney Plus, Get Back. That's probably like the best like TV related thing I've seen this year. It's like really, really interesting documentary. It's like, I feel like you can only watch it if you're like a hardcore Beatles fan because it's like incredibly in depth. It's like 9 hours literally just of like them rehearsing and just chatting and shit. But it's a lot of fun if you're into that kind of thing. Obviously I watched WandaVision. That's I think the only one of the new Marvel shows I've actually finished. But that was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. It's very creative with what it does. Very funny at times. It's interesting to see them trying new things, even if a lot of it isn't super different. There was a Martin Scorsese documentary series that came out on Netflix at the beginning of the year called Pretend It's a City. That was really good. It's like basically just him and the writer Fran Lebowitz just kind of walking around New York, and she's just basically telling a bunch of stories or like just saying a bunch of like observations on the way that people live and like just a bunch of random stuff. It's quite funny. It's not the best thing I've ever seen. And I feel like if you watch an episode and you don't gel with anything she's saying, or don't like find her like funny at all in like the first couple minutes, you're gonna hate the show because it's like all so much built upon what she has to say. But I thought that was really great.
Awesome. I'll have to give that a go actually, because I kind of glossed over it.
Yeah, it's quite fun. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the new season of Dexter next week, because the last episode will have been out at that point, but I'm really enjoying that so far. What We Do in the Shadows, the new series of that, it's just as great as ever.
Yes.
Really fantastic show. And the last thing I wanted to bring up is technically like a YouTube documentary series. I got into it in 2020 and like just was really fascinated in this really like dark and twisted way, and I got Darcy into it, and it's currently like on a huge, like possibly multi-year long hiatus because a lot of dark shit went down behind the scenes. But this the Chris Chan documentary made by Gino Samuel, this really like in-depth documentary about this just like online personality who like lives this really strangely weird life, and it's really dark and disturbing at points, but there's something very fascinating and interesting about it.
Say what you want about Chris Chan, but there was never a dull moment there. But I mean,
how many episodes did they get to? Wasn't it like 60 or 70 or something?
I think it's 60 something.
Yeah, all like an hour long.
It was like on the cusp
of
70, and then Gino was like, we have to pull the plug on this. There's in light of recent allegations that Chris Chan had been having relations with their own mum, and I'm using the term they because it's a lot easier, and then getting into this whole gender topic that Chris Chan has sparked.
But like the first like I think 7 or 8 months of this year, there was like a new episode every 2 weeks. It was
insane. Like I watched it all in like a week because every episode was like an hour long ish, 45-ish minutes, and I just got engrossed in it. I just can't believe that someone has lived this life. It is insane.
But me and Darcy were watching that like every time there was a new episode. When we weren't living together, we were watching it at the same time, like just calling each other and like just chatting every once in a while.
We'd watch it over video call or something. Like I think it is getting to the point where I don't think it can continue, especially with
I think it will eventually,
what's going on. I mean, I guess it also depends on what happens to
it's kind of hard to know where it's going to go now without the story kind of being brought to an end. But
yeah, it's one of those, especially when it's a really horrible topic to even get into. Like
the whole documentary series, I think, is very dark and like
it's
upsetting
really horrible.
Point.
Like if you think about like, regardless of whether they've done all these bad things or not, I think a lot of their life has been a catalyst to the things that they have done. If that makes sense. Like there is a lot of stuff that has gone on and nobody's ever intervened. Like you never thought that all the times that they've had like run-ins with the police and stuff, you never thought like any of them would like seek them therapy or like give them like social visits, or what I mean, like there's been absolutely no outside help to intervene with anything that's been happening, and it's so tragic.
But it's just like, it's obviously not going to be a series that's for everyone. I feel like a lot of people are not going to enjoy it in the slightest, but I think it's just like really, really well made, really high quality like storytelling.
Yeah, especially for free. Like
considering it's like a free thing put on YouTube, it's like I think really high quality.
It's really in depth. Like the amount of hours that Gino's must have gone into.
Gino Samuel's a really great documentary maker, and I'm actually kind of glad he's put it on a hiatus so he can do other things.
Yeah, I'm glad for him.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what he does next because I think he's like a really talented documentary
Yeah, I think
maker.
He's wasted doing this, to be honest.
But yeah, that's what I watched.
Yeah, awesome. Can I do mine last? Did you have anything to say, Darcy?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You can do yours last because mine is also just the list. I also want to ask a quick question because I've got one on my list, but I'm not sure if it came out this year.
Go ahead.
Did the series of Ghosts come out this year?
Series
Was it
3?
this year? Yeah. Okay. Right. Cool. So that is on the list because that's one of the things that came out this year. I'm just going to do a list of things that I'd watched. Starting with Squid Game.
Yeah.
Obviously, because everyone in the world has pretty much seen it at this point.
Not me. Hated it.
I saw a small series called True Story that had a Chris. Oh my god, what's his name? Kevin Hart, was it?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, yeah, Chris Kevin Hart, yeah. I'd forgotten his name.
Yeah, that one on Netflix.
Yeah. That one was
Kevin Hart,
it was relatively okay. Not the best thing I've ever seen, but also it was kind of like predictable, but it was also engaging enough for me to go, oh my god, I need to watch another one. And there's only like 8 of them, so it's really easily digestible. You can just watch it in like a day. Of course, we've got all of the right. So I'll be honest, like I don't really watch anything on TV other than like Hollyoaks pretty much and Coronation Street. So my list is just all things that are pretty tragic. Like I watched RuPaul's Drag Race this year, obviously UK season 3. I think the American one had a season this year as well, if I remember correctly. But
I was forced to watch 2 episodes of that.
Was it good?
No, that was the UK one. I'm talking about the US one. Yeah, so the American one, I fell in love with a new drag queen this year called Gottmik. Big up Gottmik. And then I saw basically some like news. So the only great thing that I saw this year, I'll leave to the end because it needs talking about. So I watched a show called Turner and Hooch, which is obviously Josh Peck's take on
Peck one.
His take on the Tom Hanks film. Garbage. Did not appreciate it at all. I watched a couple of episodes and then I had to turn it off. Like me and my family have this rule: if by 2 episodes in you're not a fan, bin it off. It's a waste of time.
That's what I did with Squid Game.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that show it starts getting good about episode 3, but then by then, at that point, if you don't want to watch it, what's the point in watching it? In my opinion,
I think I've already given my opinion on what I thought.
Yeah,
of, like, those first 2 episodes.
I think your point is valid, to be honest. And then we've got obviously What We Do in the Shadows, and then I have 3 really tragic ones, but I can't help but love. Well, actually, no, one of them is really terrible, called The Great North. Basically, it's one of those shows that I think those creators like Bob's Burgers, you know, that type of show about a family that like live in like the cabins out in like the snow hills and stuff. It's kind of like the same sort of thing as you see with like Bob's Burgers, but like not as good. You know, it's kind of like regurgitated. I feel like
isn't it the same like animation style?
Yeah,
like, I'm pretty sure it was co-created by one of the creators.
Yeah, I think it's almost one of those things that you have something good, so you try and cash in on like another version of it, and I just didn't gel with it. But it could have been something, but it just, for me, it wasn't it. I saw season 32 of The Simpsons this year, and I finished it just yesterday. It sucked.
Did we watch?
We watched the first 7, and then I watched the rest of it.
Fucking sucks.
It was really
it's
bad.
Just unwatchable now.
Do you know what?
Marge literally sounds like a completely different person.
Carl sounds horrible now as well. Now that they've got a new person doing him. It's not good.
They need to stop.
They need to. They're on season 33, but they need to let it die.
The voice actors just don't sound like they want to be there anymore. Especially, Marge. She sounds really bad.
Homer's the only one that sounds like Homer.
Yeah, Homer sounds the same.
He's
still.
always sounded the same.
Lisa obviously sounds quite old as well. Bart sounds all right, but
he definitely sounds older. But he does. No, that none of them sound.
They sound really uninfused, but
that's the problem.
When the writing is as poor as it is, then I don't really blame them.
Awful. Like they're
still getting paid, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those. They're going to keep doing it because it makes money, and I
mean that's fine.
Yeah, and it's going to keep on going till the end of time. But
I'm not going to watch it.
I don't know. I think it's kind of getting to the end of its run now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years it gets canned.
If Dan Castellaneta died, that's like the finishing point.
Yeah, I think
if any of the main family died.
Yeah, but then they might just. I don't know.
I don't think they would replace them.
I don't know. I could imagine it happening, but I hope they don't.
That's happened they haven't been doing that recently, times on the show where voice actors have died and they've just got rid of the characters. Obviously, it happened with like Lionel Hutz, like back in the day, and like all those characters.
Oh yeah, but they were secondary characters. You see, I don't know what they were doing.
Phil Hartman was playing, and obviously, Miss Krabappel, the actress of her
that
died.
was sad.
Was she not there anymore?
No, they wrote her out of the show.
But they did a really. The only thing I did like about that series was that they did a cute little nod to her. Like, they did an episode where they found her diary, and there was like these little like snippets of her coming back, and I really liked her character, so it was nice to see. But the rest of the show was so. Yeah. It's like worse versions of episodes that already exist.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, it's regurgitated storylines from old episodes that they try to redo, and then they like. I know like a lot of it isn't like quite like canon anyway or whatever, but a lot of it sort of like unwrites itself, and it's just really weird.
Yeah, I remember there was at least 1 or 2 episodes of what we watched where I was like, this is literally an episode that I've already seen before. This is an episode that exists. They're literally just copying the same thing.
And then I've only got 2 more shows on here. So I've been watching a show called £1,000 Sisters.
Right, what's that?
Which is it is so basically for some weird reason I go onto this weird side of YouTube, like we're talking like Chris Chan side of weird, right? And I found these 2 YouTubers called Amy and Tammy Slayton who are like really overweight. They got really famous for doing the Chubby Bunny challenge. Has like over 10 million views or something. Anyway, they have their own TV show now on TLC, and it's TLC because they just put out shite, and but I'm willing to watch. And yeah, it's just like they've got 3 seasons at the moment where they're just like going around telling about their life and their weight loss journeys and stuff. And I'm on like episode 7 at the moment. I think the 8th one should be out on, what day is it now? Thursday. It's so good for all the wrong reasons. Like, I just love watching shit. I can't help myself.
I'm pretty sure like nearly every day when I come home from work, you're either watching like their YouTube videos or watching like someone break them down and like discuss them and like discuss what they're doing wrong with their life.
I am basically the law of trash YouTube people. Like, I could give you like the rundown of like their whole life pretty much. It's really bad. I don't know what. I think it's because for me it's just a lot easier to sit and digest like these like 20-minute videos than it is for me to sit and watch like a proper film and actually have to use my brain.
That's kind of how I feel about a lot of TV. Like, when I get home from work, I either want to watch a movie or I just want to just like mong out and watch YouTube.
Yeah, this is pretty much how I am 24/7.
I like watching those true crime videos we've been watching a lot.
To be fair, at least
like
those have some sort of substance to them. Like, and there is only one show this year that I loved with like all of my being, and It's a Sin. What a show. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys need to watch it. It is incredible.
I was like, I need to cram this into the last ounce of the year, but I couldn't do it.
Oh, so. It's by Russell T Davies, isn't it?
Yeah. I like him a lot. So
it's actually phenomenal. Like, like everyone was like hyping it up, but it's worth its hype. Mm-hmm. It is so good. And Ollie Alexander, he should just bug off singing and just become an actor full time because he is incredible.
I liked him a lot in Enter the Void. He was good in that.
Honestly, he's such a good actor that I don't know why he sings. I don't even like his singing. I just think he's a great actor. He's so, honestly.
Well, if you can do both, why not?
Oh yeah, true. But I mean,
just look at Will Smith. He did it all.
Yeah, he really did.
It's just phenomenal. I think it's just the best thing I've seen all year. And this came out in like January as well, so it had a lasting effect. Mm-hmm. Like me and my family would watch it like every week. I started watching it from like episode 2, but then I went backwards and then finished it without them because so basically Channel 4 were releasing it like every week, but all 4, the app, had all of the episodes on there already. So we'd watched one of the episodes and I said, no, this will not do. I'm going to finish it. And then I went upstairs and finished it. And I never cried so much at a TV show in my whole life. So sad. So good. I recommend it to everybody and anybody.
Nice. Yeah. I'll check it out. I'm sure. That it?
That was it. I don't watch TV. I just watch shit.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, now we'll get on to mine. I started the BBC show Around the World in 80 Days.
Oh, I started watching that as well.
The first 2 episodes. I haven't watched anything else yet. It's pretty good. It's all right.
I like the second episode more than the first one. Yeah.
Definitely.
I also have only watched the first 2 episodes because we watched it. Oh, it was on Boxing Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like David Tennant.
Yeah, do you know what? I love David Tennant. This is the problem though. It's a story that I've never really like.
Yeah, I'm not that enthused with it. Like, if David Tennant wasn't in it, I wouldn't have given it the time of day.
No, I wouldn't have even bothered. I didn't even know it was on. Like, I just saw it come up, and my mum was like, oh yeah, did you record it, Andy? We're going to watch it. And I was like, oh, here we go. I guess we're going to watch it then. And I felt like it was going to start getting good. But I don't think, for me personally, I'm going to watch it because no one's going to force me to watch it, if that makes sense.
It was like, I was at my mum's on Boxing Day and like we just put it on.
Yeah.
We watched the first 2 episodes. And I don't know if I really can be bothered to carry it on.
No, I don't have any
parts of it. I really like. It's quite nice to look at. I think it's quite well shot and like.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Is cool.
Like, yeah, a lot of it is like kind of rural, but also kind of, I don't know. There's like a lot of like landscapes and places, and it's like really pretty. But yeah, I just don't really care, so I don't think I will be.
Is it better than that Steve Coogan Jackie Chan movie at least?
Do you know what? I don't even know what you're talking about, so I'm going to say yes.
Did you never watch it?
No.
Yeah, it's like 2003, Around the World in 80 Days, starring Steve Coogan and Jackie Chan.
Well, from the way you're describing
it,
I'm
going to say
like,
yes.
This new one is probably
I'm going to say yes, even though I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't even finished this TV series. I'm going to say it's better.
Yeah. The only one I stopped watching from this year was Squid Game.
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 episodes of that, and I think I've gone into it, but I don't like... I understood exactly what it was going for, and then I didn't need to watch anything else because like, what's it going to do? And I guess I can't really speak to what it did. I'm sure it's probably quite good, but like not enough for me to keep going with it. I think it's been a bit too commodified for me, whereas like that's kind of everything that it was against.
Yeah.
And I don't like this kind of fetishization of the show that I've seen. You see like all these products that are like advertising like, oh, look at, you want the Squid Game hat, don't you? You want the Squid Game mask.
Yeah,
everyone's kids are watching Squid Game. Oh, Squid Game was so epic. Like, nobody takes away from it what I feel like it was going for in the first place.
Yeah, it's almost ironic, isn't it? Like, it's almost like against that whole like commercialized stuff, and then it's like, yeah, like people
it's about, like the
fidget
lower
poppers
classes
and shit,
and like, how they've been taken advantage of.
It's vile. Like, I mean, I really like the show. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like I know Max has said before that he's not a big fan of like people getting hurt for like just for the sake of getting hurt, and a lot of it is literally that because obviously you got to get down to the last person. So a lot of it is just people just getting gunned down for nothing, pretty much.
Maybe that's like my own thing. I guess that's like my own.
Yeah, I know that's your own thing, but I can see why you don't.
I don't like watching that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of
like
it.
I got enough out of it from 2 episodes, and I don't think it would have done anything to subvert my expectations. Really.
Yeah, I just don't really have any interest. Like, I've seen Battle Royale, I've seen Hunger Games. I've seen this kind of done. I don't really need to watch it again.
Yeah. It was like Martyrs, but like really colourful.
Yeah, like I did like brutal. It. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, there was just I think once the hype started, like properly started, it was kind of like most people I felt were just watching it to have something to talk about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I always get put off by that sort of thing. Like if I don't watch a show right away or like a film right away and it like blows up and everyone's talking about it, I'm just like too overwhelmed to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think I watched like one show from like other years. Like I didn't just stop watching. That was New Girl. It's like this kind of sitcom, American sitcom about Zooey Deschanel.
My sister and me watch it quite a bit because they've now taken it off Netflix, but I used to watch it because she would put it on her days off work. I've dipped in and out of it. I don't really care about the show, but I have seen it.
I really like that show.
Yeah, I've seen that one episode.
I've seen that. I'm an expert because I have seen one episode.
I saw the episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where she turns up in it.
Oh yeah, that happened as well. Like Andy Samberg comes in, he's like in a cop car. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That's kind
I
of
won't
vibes.
say it doesn't have like low moments, but overall I found it to be very entertaining. I think the cast is all really great. They're all really bouncing off each other very well. And it's kind of more like an adult comedy where I feel like something like, I don't know, Friends is trying to cater to like everyone. New Girl is more in the realms of like, this is like an adult comedy sort of thing.
Yeah, I could imagine that. I mean, I feel like it's the kind of thing that I think it's also, I can't explain it, but I don't think it is for everyone because I feel like my sister really likes it and I think it's okay, but like I don't think my mum would enjoy it. I feel like it has that sort of
a twinge of vulgarity to it.
Yeah, like I don't
every
think
so
she would
often, yeah.
appreciate it, but it is very like it's a
But I
lot more
liked it,
raunchy
yeah.
than like Friends was. Like Friends is like very almost like
It's a bit
PG
safe,
friendly,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Whereas New Girl's like, oh yeah, we can talk about these things
Yeah.
because we're adults, and it's like that's what it should have been like the whole time. Like Friends is just so watered down.
I guess it comes to like they talk about like sex in Friends like fairly often, but it's not. They don't go into detail
Yeah,
with
it's
it. But like
it's
I
never
feel like
yeah.
New Girl kind of goes into detail with that sort of things, and it explores relationships very well for me. And
And there's
like,
a lot of gay relationships in there. Well,
There
actually,
were a
there's not a
couple.
lot. There's
I
a
mean,
couple,
no,
but there's still more than there was in Friends, I would believe.
sure, yeah. It's
Can't be gay in Friends.
no, you can't really. Can't be gay in Friends.
No, but
and
I
you can't be
appreciate
Asian.
that. Yeah, but I haven't watched like tons of it. I think I don't know how many I've seen in total. Probably
It's very casual
probably
watching.
about 10 maybe.
Yeah. This is just like I popped it on when I was doing something. Like,
Yeah,
in the
that's what.
background.
Yeah, my sister would just put it on, and she'd
Yeah.
be like doing a coursework or something.
But yeah, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that they ended it. That it was just finished at the end.
Oh, they
And they
finished
actually
it.
brought everything to a close.
Okay, I
Whereas
appreciate
other
that.
other
yeah.
series, I feel like they just kind of drop off. But this, I don't think.
Mm.
I think it maintained a pretty steady level throughout. There was like parts where I think Zooey Deschanel, she was pregnant or something, and she had to leave the show for a bit, and they brought on like Megan Fox, yeah, who comes back. I think she
Why
was
do that?
she was pretty good in the show. I didn't love her, but she was all right. She served her purpose. Yeah, that was a good show. Fuck it, why not? Now we'll go on to my list, I guess. Okay, I've got like 15 seasons, so I'll do like 14 through to like 2, and then like talk about the one on either side, I guess.
Okay.
Like 14 was History of Swear Words, which was bland and boring, and it was just like Nick Cage talking about the history of different swear words. And I don't know, I didn't really get much out of it. 13 was Love, Death and Robots, which we spoke about on the show.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty good. 12 was Hawkeye. Whatever. Because it's the worst one of the Marvel shows, I think.
Yeah, that's why I have not.
Oh, my
bothered, and
dad
I
was
probably
well
won't.
keen.
It's so inconsequential. Nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. It only serves to
okay.
set up this character, Kate Bishop, and like that's it. And I don't even feel like you need to watch it really at all to understand anything else that's going to be going on in the universe. I like that he was kind of deaf. He was partially deaf because of all the explosions that he's had to deal with throughout his life of being an Avenger. So that was all right. But the rest, I don't know. It was like Christmas as well. Whatever. The villains weren't that standout. 11, WandaVision. Not a massive fan, but it was all right. 10 was What If. It was like that kind of like episodic type of deal that they did for Marvel, where they did like animated vignettes, and that was fine. Some of them were a lot better than others, but like they also brought them all together in the end. It was like, and they were all connected. Like, okay, I don't care, and I don't want to watch it again. Honestly, I don't want to watch whatever they do next with it because I feel like it could have a second season, but whatever. I watched like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was number 9. That was good. That was all right. I think there was like more commentary on like the black experience in that one than I've seen in basically anything else that Marvel's done.
That was what I liked of what I saw.
Mhm.
I wasn't like massively into it.
Yeah, no. I think a lot of people watched my number 8, which is Shadow and Bone, season 1. That was like a kind of a teen fantasy type of show.
Isn't that like
got a lot
the
of traction.
Immortal Bones or whatever it's called? Is it like that? Is that
It
what
was
it's
sort of like that. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, based off of like a book.
called?
Yeah. I found it all right. It was pretty good. Interesting ideas. Not a lot to write home about, I guess. But I'll carry on. I'll carry on that show because it was pretty good. I like the performances. Number 7 was The Witcher season 2. That was brilliant. Really
Cool.
good. A lot better than the first season, in my opinion. And I think it's trying to go for like this high fantasy kind of thing. And I think there's going to be like the new one, you know, when it gets like into like maybe like its 3rd or 4th season, that's going to be like the one that everyone's like, have you seen The Witcher? Because it's really good. And Henry Cavill delivers like my favourite performance from him. He was really brilliant in that show. 6 was Castlevania season 4. It was pretty good. I actually really enjoyed that one. It's like Netflix's anime that they've got going. And I think that's like the last they're going to do with it. I think it's over now. But that was really good. I like binged through it all in a matter of weeks. Number 5 was This Way Up season 2. That was like Aisling B's show that I told you all to watch, but you didn't.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I like her though.
Yeah, she's really
I
good.
watched a clip from it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a clip. You know, when you like go on it's like on the front page and starts showing like a trailer or like a clip from a show,
Yeah.
and it looks funny. So I've been meaning to watch it.
She's really good as like a stand-up comedian as well. I think.
I like her a lot.
I think she writes the show. I think it's like her baby. But like she and Sharon Horgan, who did the show together, the like really great dynamics that's going on between those two, and like kind of the way they're able to explore family a lot more, and I think a lot better than I've seen in other shows where like it's not as one-dimensional. It's like you get the good with the bad, and like it's quite an upsetting watch sometimes, but like it's punctuated with a lot of comedy that I feel hits a lot. Brilliant show. I recommend that, honestly. That's really up there. What are we on? 4.
Yes.
Loki. Really brilliant show. Really brilliant show that Marvel have done. Really enjoyed it. It's like taking what I want from Marvel and putting it into this show, and it's like really like cosmic, and like they're really going out there with like everything they're trying to do with like that could be achieved with the characters, where I feel like something like WandaVision, where it's a bit more like it's just in this one place. Loki kind of takes it a bit further, and it goes to like really interesting worlds and planets and different places. It's a lot more colourful than like the casual Marvel fare. And I think if you're gonna watch any of them, watch Loki. I think Tom Hiddleston's been doing like this character for like, I don't know, over a decade now. And he's fantastic. He's still brilliant at this character. And I think he carries the show a lot. You got Owen Wilson in there, who's also very good. It's just a very interesting take on Marvel. I think they actually really tried to do something very different and unique with it, and they succeeded. Number 3, Ghosts, season 3. This is such a brilliant show.
Honestly, this show is so good.
You got like the guys from Horrible Histories who are doing it.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more adult. It's hilarious, honestly. It's so funny, and it's very wholesome. It's like, it's one of those like warm hug type of shows.
Yeah, like I didn't even know about it. My mum and my sister have been watching it, and obviously since I've not been living with them anymore, I didn't even know it existed.
Mhm.
And I went home for a little bit, and they were like, "You need to watch this," and I pretty much watched it all in the like 2 weeks that I had like gone home or whatever. It's so good. It's just like, I think it's because I really like the Horrible Histories like humor and stuff, and they kind of do bring that into this, but it is a lot more like
a bit more adult.
Yeah, it's very much like, it's a bit more cheeky. I love it. It's great. And the Christmas episode was so cute.
Yeah.
I love it so
There was
much.
like was it the season 2 Christmas episode was like, that was the first episode I watched, and that like got me into the show. Yeah. It was really good. I love all those guys. They're doing a bang up job. Hope we get more.
Yeah, I'm sure
we
from
will.
them, yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 was the David Attenborough one that came out in like January. That was A Perfect Planet.
Ah.
I'm always hyped for a new David Attenborough one. It's like they're all really well shot. Like some of the most gorgeous television that's being made today. It's all very informative. He knows exactly what he's trying to say. You get to see lots of nice animals, which is always a
Who
plus.
don't love animals?
And I think what is going on with his documentaries now is they're a lot more punctuated with like severe messages to do with like the climate and how we're fucking up the world, which I appreciate. So
But yet no one
it adds an
listens.
edge to it. It's like, yeah, you should think about this, and then nobody does.
True.
Yeah.
But he'll keep trying, and I appreciate that.
I'll do number 1, and then I'll do number 15. Number 1 was What We Do in the Shadows.
Hell yeah.
Season 3.
God, do you know what? I love this show, and I'm still trying to struggle, because I thought, right, because my sister really loves Ghosts, right, and I feel like it's in that same sort of ballpark of like kind of goofy humour, and I thought my sister would really like it. She was like, it's just not funny. And I was like, what is not funny about a bunch of vampires that live together? It is absolutely hilarious. Matt Berry is the best.
Yeah.
Matt Berry's great, yeah. Who else you got? Like Natasha Demetriou.
Oh, she's great.
Bloody brilliant.
Do you know what? Comedians,
Yeah.
She's one of them.
Ivan Novak.
She's so
Yeah,
good.
Fantastic.
I love him. Yeah, I was really worried when the show, I first heard about the show, because obviously the film is really great. I really loved the movie a lot. And I was worried that the show just wouldn't be as
hold up.
good,
Yeah,
because
that's
there's
what I
like
thought.
so many like shows based on films that just don't manage to capture what make the film great. But I think this show really does. It does exactly what the film does really well, but with a different cast who all have their own like unique characters and like unique identity that makes it feel different to the movie while still capturing what I think makes that film great.
I do appreciate that this isn't an American adaptation.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound like a weird thing to say, but I think we all see it coming. Like, I don't think this would have been done very well if this was an American show.
It is an American adaptation. They've just got like the original writers behind it.
Yeah.
No, they're British, aren't they? I thought people in this show were British.
Yeah, but it's set in
they are
America.
British, but it's set in America, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't count. I'm talking about
Because
like
made by FX.
Yeah.
FX is...
Yeah, it's made in America.
Yeah.
It's made by like an American studio.
Oh wow. Fuck me,
I think
guys.
they're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally. Bloody yeah.
I think you still have Taika Waititi doing a lot of the writing.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Jermaine Clement is behind a lot of it as well.
Yeah.
He was obviously one of the guys from the original movie, and he was one of the guys of Flight in the Conchords, one of the two main characters.
To be fair, Flight the Conchords is it? See, this is what I mean. I feel like they all kind of go hand in hand with that sort of like weird humor, but it kind of works. I don't know how to explain it. What
New
is it?
New Zealand-esque humor, like kind of Britishy humor as well.
It's very dry,
It
and
is
I
very
appreciate that. And I feel like that's kind of why my mum likes it, because she's very much into like dry humor, which is one reason why she doesn't like Friends, is because Friends is too cheesy for her. She likes
I
dry
get that.
humor.
I prefer dry humor also.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. There's like, I'm glad they kept like the documentary.
Yeah, the aspect of it. Yeah,
that's
it's
like
funny.
so crucial to it. So I'm glad it didn't just get turned into something just ordinary,
like a sitcom
Yeah,
type. Well,
yeah.
it is, but without that sort of like.
Yeah, I think it's a show that just seems to be getting better and better every season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, don't say that. You might jinx it.
I'm hopeful for it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best shows
It is
being
so
made
great.
today.
I really want to watch is it Wellington Paranormal or Wellington Supernatural, like the spin-off show
Paranormal.
about like the two police officers from the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll get into that at some point. I don't know. I was like putting it off.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of that kind of thing because I'm not
Yeah.
really a big fan of like whatever happens.
Like how many
in
times
spin-offs.
can they
Yeah.
hit? You know.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good still.
Oh, okay. Well,
Awesome.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just very skeptical about spin-offs.
Yeah. All looks really good. It's always consistently very funny. You got like even like that baby doll who like had a ghost within it.
Yeah, like
That's so funny. And she like runs away. She had like a little like was it Bindle? She was like, that's it. I'm running away. Nobody
little
loves me
stick
anymore.
things. Oh man.
Oh, brilliant stuff. And I like how they ended it as well. It was kind of like a cliffhanger.
I
Like
don't
they're all
remember
going
how
on
they-
their different
Oh.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
I do want.
interested to see
Yeah, I
what
do
they do
wonder
with
how.
that.
Yeah, how
It
they're
was
gonna.
fucking absurd
Yeah.
what happened at the end. Yeah. With like slight spoilers for What We Do in the Shadows season 3. It was like Colin Robinson died, and then like from him was reborn a baby of him. And then like
That was
Matt
so
Berry has to
funny.
like nurse him to help him, so he abandons his wife.
So weird, isn't it? It's just one of them shows that like you can't even explain what's going on. It's like you have to watch it to understand. And even then you won't understand it.
Thanks television. Love you. Number 15 was Doctor Who, Flux.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be that instantly.
Flux.
Flux.
What's that?
That's what they called it. It's called Doctor Who Flux.
Is this
It's
a new what is it?
season 13, but they called it Doctor Who Flux. And this is... I watched it in like a matter of a couple of days. I really wanted to like have something...
Who's in it?
The Doctor. So for this one, you got Chris Chibnall writing it. You've got Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor.
Oh right, okay.
Was it Mandeep Gill and John Bishop and a few others, I think. This one was like, I'll say it now, it's not good, but it is the best Chris Chibnall has done with the show.
Do you know what? It's weird that you mention it because I remember, I think you were messaging us saying that it wasn't good. And I remember overhearing my sister talking with my mum about it. Like, I think it was like the morning after. And she was like, yeah, it wasn't very good, was it? She was like, no, I was very disappointed. And I was like, oh, because I don't like Doctor Who anyway. So I would have found it shite either way. But it was quite interesting because I know, like, they really like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Is it really that bad? It must have been pretty bad.
I was not disappointed by it because I had very low expectations going in. I was like, I need to watch this so that I have something shit to talk about.
And what was bad about it?
It was a lot of things. It's like they try to pack a lot into it. So it's like the general story. I appreciate the need to do like a more streamlined story throughout a season. It's only like 7 episodes. Well, it's like 6 episodes and then a New Year's special. And I enjoyed the idea of telling a story across the season, whereas mostly it's been more like episodic and they like go to a new place every time. But I don't think the story they went with was very good. It's like about the flux, and it's basically like this cloud that's coming from the deepest reaches of the universe to wipe out everything. It's like literally cataclysmic. The entire universe is ending. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know if I want that from like a little show like Doctor Who that's so often been about smaller stories. I don't know if it worked as well. And then they try to, if that wasn't enough, they also have to throw in like a few more villains. It's like these guys who I don't know what they're doing. They've got like rocks for faces and like gems. And I like the design of those guys, but I don't think they were very good because I don't know what they want. And that's the problem I have with the season overall, is that it's very convoluted and it's very high concept, and I don't think they did a very good job of explaining exactly what was happening or the motivations behind certain characters. They did like a teaser before the season began where like Jodie Whittaker was like reeling off a bunch of villains. She's like, oh, they're coming, and the Flux is coming, and you got the Weeping Angels, they're back, and then the Sontarans are back as well. Oh my god. And I'm like, I watched that and I was like, this is going to be shit, isn't it? This isn't going to be good.
Sounds like Spider-Man 3. Just too much.
It's I think if I was to compliment the season, I would say this is as good as the Angels have been done, the Weeping Angels have been done for a while. Okay. Since like Matt Smith's era, which was a very long time ago. It was actually like, it was ever so slightly creepy, which I really like. Like nothing really tops like that very first episode with the Weeping Angels for me, because it was like this completely new thing. You didn't understand what was going on. It will never reach that high again because now you know exactly what they're about. And I feel like that's such an interesting, they're like one of the best villains of the show, and you could have done like a whole season on them, or like delving into like their kind of what would like maybe they could have been like the main villain, but they weren't. It was just like this guy who was dressed in a suit and like had rocks on his faces on their and they were disintegrating people and like putting them somewhere. Who cares, honestly? Yeah, God, I want like a really good season with Jodie Whittaker. I've said it a million times before. I just want something good with her. I think, and while this had its moments, I think she is a character as this Doctor. You could be more like you could do a lot more with her character than I think you could do with other incarnations, where I feel like she's got quite a sad twinge to her because she's just been through like so much shit. And it's like, yeah, how do you live like all these lives and not come out like super jaded and like really just like done with everything? And there is that kind of edge to her, but I don't know if she's written as well as like, you know, she was with Chris Chibnall when she was doing Broadchurch, and I think she wants to leave when Chris Chibnall leaves, which I don't think is a good idea, because then we've got like Russell T Davies coming back after Chris Chibnall leaves. I just want him to write her, you know, and I think he'd pull it off. I think you like do something really brilliant with her because she's such a brilliant actor, and I like her incarnation of the Doctor. I just don't think it's very well written. And there's like a part at the end of the season where like I always hate when like the Doctor like falls in love with a companion. I'm like, this can't work. But it always happens, and the only time it didn't happen was in Peter Capaldi's run because he was old, I guess.
Yeah.
But then they do that again in this one. And it's like, okay. It's like, it's with, so she's had like the same companions her entire runtime, and like only one of them stayed, which is this girl called Yaz. And then like in the what is it? In the New Year's episode, John Bishop was like, you guys love each other, you know, and then they just don't do anything with it, and then like that, it ends. And I'm like, I don't know if I guess they think they're being subversive because it's two women now, but it's like, well, it's the same thing, you know? It's not going to work out, and I don't know when Jodie Whittaker is going to stop being the Doctor, but I think this might be the last of Chris Chibnall's run. I don't know if he's going to do it anymore, and I think we're going to have to wait until like next year to get another season of it, which I'm all for, honestly. And I don't hate this. I was very surprised, you know, because it's not. I liked about 3 episodes, which was pretty good, but I don't think it congealed very well at the end of it. It was not a disappointment because I've come to expect disappointment from the show, but
that's sad.
Yeah, it's sad. Though, I said I wasn't. I was like last year. I was like, I never want to watch this show again, but I'm going to keep going back to it. Fuck it, honestly, because it is like one of my favorite shows. But they fucked it. They ruined it. Unfortunately, yeah. Some good bits, mostly shit. Excited for the new Russell T Davies era. Hopefully,
Yeah, I'll watch it when he comes back.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
until then,
that's it. I've never really liked the show, but he was probably writing it when wasn't Christopher Eccleston in it?
yeah.
And I really liked
David
that. Yeah.
Tennant.
So I mean, maybe, but probably not.
yeah. I mean, he's a really great writer. I think he'll do something brilliant with it.
Yeah, I'm hoping he does, but also, yeah, I won't be watching it. But good luck to you, mate.
I'm still of the mind that they need to stop using the Daleks for about 10 years. But they can't because they need to include them to retain the rights.
Yeah, every season, isn't it?
Yeah, but then like...
Wasn't they just shove them in the background of a shot or
no,
something?
they could though, because they did that in one of the seasons where Peter Capaldi was the Doctor, and it's just like, there's a Dalek, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And then
They could
I
just
wish
keep
they
doing,
just
yeah,
do
they could
that.
just
Like,
keep doing
fine,
that,
just retain
yeah.
the rights, but like, don't use them because
Yeah,
I feel like they're not scary anymore.
they're not, but I mean, I think they're quite cute though. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, cute's not scary, so
Yeah. I want like something darker with this show. But I know it's like a family show, it's like a kids show, but like I want something darker. I want something
you need a Doctor
really
Who
shake
after
me up.
hours.
Yeah. I want something akin to like the first time we saw the Weeping Angels.
Yeah.
And like, was it then an episode called Midnight, which was bloody horrifying. You know, I want that edge to the show again.
I want another Cassandra because she was
Yeah.
creepy.
Those early seasons are like really great.
Yeah, I still love them.
Yeah. That's
There we
the
go.
shows.
That is it all. Chris, you have a duty to
Excited for this year, guys? Excited for 22?
do. Yeah, I'm going into it quite cautiously hopeful.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good stuff coming out this year.
Mm.
Aquaman 2. Fantastic Beasts 3.
Oh, what have you? What really?
Yeah. Is it Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore? Which is a shit title.
Oh, for God's sake!
It's probably going to be bad, but I'll see it. I don't know.
I haven't seen the second
Don't know
one.
if I'll see it.
I haven't seen either of them. I have no interest at all.
Don't bother.
The
They
first,
suck.
the first one was okay.
No,
I just don't care. I like the Harry Potter movies, but like
I don't even like the Harry Potter
that was kind
movies.
of like all I wanted from that universe. I kind of feel
Mhm.
like they did everything that they could do with it, but
Well, I only saw it
Guess
because
not.
my 2 housemates made me go, and I was like, oh, this actually wasn't too awful. And then the second one came out, and I heard nothing but bad things, and I went, okay, I'm not going to go.
It's like supposed to be about fantastic beasts, but like it's
There's
not.
hardly, there's hardly any of
It's
the
like
little
here's this
creatures
new
in
main
it.
character that we're going to follow, Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne. It
Yeah.
kind of sucks.
Yeah, and that's
and then
that's
they just like
literally it.
don't focus on him at all.
Yeah, and
it's
they
more
don't.
about Dumbledore and Grindelwald.
Yeah, and they don't even talk about the little creatures or anything. It's
No.
weird.
anyway,
I
Right.
don't talk about the little creatures.
Yes.
God damn it.
got a wheel to spin.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I missed the wheel.
We missed the wheel.
I've really missed the wheel.
Been a while.
But I'm not going to miss it in about 2 minutes' time, am I? Go on. Have you spun it?
What are we going to do next
Oh
week?
no!
'Cause it's
Oh
gonna
no!
be
I
something
hate the
great.
wheel.
We hope.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I don't know why that's still on there. It came
What?
up with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
Fuck
but I
that.
thought I deleted that.
Delete it. We're going again. We won't even
but
veto
do you know-
it.
yeah,
'Cause
this
it doesn't exist.
This is torture.
Yeah.
This wheel. I love it and
That's
I
why we
hate
got
it.
rid of like so many like shit ones that we just knew were going to be awful.
Okay, this is an interesting one. It's
Okay.
a director special of Darren Aronofsky.
Okay. Okay.
I have no idea who that is.
He did Requiem for a Dream, The Wrestler, Black Swan.
Right.
Mother-
I'm sorry, but I already know what I'm picking. Okay.
Okay, we'll
so,
do Darren Aronofsky.
There we go.
Yeah, it's going to be a really happy week
Yeah.
because most of his movies are like horribly depressing.
They are.
That's that then. Thanks for listening. How long have we been fucking going? It feels like ages.
About 2 hours.
2 hours and 37 minutes.
Jesus Christ. You're going to have
Sorry.
to work that out for you, mate.
There's a lot to talk about. Okay. That's that then. I forgot to write down our social media, but I think I'm probably going to remember it. Well, we got social media, YouTube, the Sunday Movie Marathon, Facebook at Sunday Movie Marathon, Twitter at Sunday Movie Pod. The other ones, Letterboxd at Sunday MM, capital S, capital MM. That seems to be about what we've got.
I just love watching like the concentration in your face when you try to remember them, even though you've said them over and
Yeah.
over for the last millennia. I
Go
love it.
do that. Nice. Happy New Year. We hope.
Have a good year.
Have a good year. It's not like, oh, we're just not going to see him for another year.
Have a good year. See you next year.
Yeah.
Bye.
Merry New Year!